State, TTPS, media must responsibly address gender-based violence. Newsday 2 hours ago. Tara Ramsarup and her daughter Jada Mudalal. She was chopped to death while her daughter's throat was slit. File photos. Tara Ramsarup and her daughter Jada Mudalal. She was chopped to death while her daughter's throat was slit. File photos. The UWI, St. Augustine Campus Institute for Gender and Development Studies is calling on the state to treat cases of gender-based violence, GBV, and related issues with greater urgency and care amid the upsurge in violent domestic-related incidents in the past few months. The TTPS and the media were also urged to show greater sensitivity and empathy when it comes to dealing with the victims, survivors, and/or relatives affected by gender-based violence. On August 14th, Kiefer Wilson of Cartall Road was knocked down by a car and hit with a wheel spanner by a male friend who was allegedly stalking her. She subsequently died from her injuries. On September 14th, Afia Adams, the mother of 3 from Freeport, was set on fire at her home by a male relative and succumbed to her injuries on September 18th. After dousing her with a flammable substance, the man fled. On October 8th, both Tara Ramsarup and her 14-month daughter Jada Mudalal were murdered. Tara was chopped to death, and the baby's throat was slit. A male relative has since been charged for the murders. Afia Adams, the mother of 3, who was attacked, doused with a flammable liquid and then set alight. She died later in hospital. In a media release on October 22nd, the Institute called on the Ministry of National Security, the TTPS, and the media to treat gender-based violence with empathy and sensitivity. It also made several recommendations. The Ministry of National Security and the TTPS should use the $6.912 billion allocated in the 2025 budget to work with the university to develop a comprehensive GBV sensitization program. This program can be done in partnership with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Social Development, and the TTPS GBV unit to create a uniform response to reports of GBV, the Institute said in its release. It added that there was a need for protection orders to activate a much stronger mechanism of support, considering the number of women that have been killed even after getting such orders from the courts. Media personnel must be mindful of how the sensitivity of language needs to form part of their reporting on incidents of GBV. While sensationalizing helps to increase traction, consideration must be given to survivors or victims and their families. The Institute added that GBV incidents should be addressed in health policies and protocols, describing it as a health, social protection, and multi-sectoral issue. It said health practitioners should be educated in providing psychological and emotional support rather than physical treatment. The release called for state bodies employed to assist in the protection and support of survivors of GBV to commit to ensuring that they treat every case with due diligence regardless of the case history of the victim or personal beliefs. Kiefer Wilson, knocked down by a car and then beaten to death by a man who had been stalking her. They should recognize that in cases of death, they should ensure victims are not subjected to any form of victim blaming, and the well-being of survivors and/or their families remains a priority. Any strategy to treat with gender-based violence, the Institute said, must adopt the 5 Ps model, which is prevention, protection, prosecution, punishments/penalties, and provision of redress and reparation. These considerations should also be extended to relatives of gender-based violence victims/survivors, as they may also be traumatized, not only in the present, but for years to come. A holistic,
Lennox
all-of-country
TCT,
approach is needed to treat with gender-based violence and its many consequences.
2024, nothing but the truth.
State, TTPS, media must responsibly address gender-based violence. Newsday 2 hours ago. Tara Ramsarup and her daughter Jada Mudalal. She was chopped to death while her daughter's throat was slit. File photos. Tara Ramsarup and her daughter Jada Mudalal. She was chopped to death while her daughter's throat was slit. File photos. The UWI, St. Augustine Campus Institute for Gender and Development Studies is calling on the state to treat cases of gender-based violence, GBV and related issues with greater urgency and care amid the upsurge in violent domestic-related incidents in the past few months. The TPS and the media were also urged to show greater sensitivity and empathy when it comes to dealing with the victims, survivors, and/or relatives affected by gender-based violence. On August 14th, Kiefer Wilson of Cartall Road was knocked down by a car and hit with a wheel spanner by a male friend who was allegedly stalking her. She subsequently died from her injuries. On September 14th, Afia Adams, the mother of 3 from Freeport, was set on fire at her home by a male relative and succumbed to her injuries on September 18th. After dousing her with a flammable substance, the man fled. On October 8th, both Tara Ramsarup and her 14-month daughter Jada Mudalal were murdered. Tara was chopped to death, and the baby's throat was slit. A male relative has since been charged for the murders. Afia Adams, the mother of 3, who was attacked, doused with a flammable liquid and then set alight. She died later in hospital. In a media release on October 22nd, the Institute called on the Ministry of National Security, the TPS, and the media to treat gender-based violence with empathy and sensitivity. It also made several recommendations. The Ministry of National Security and the TPS should use the $6.912 billion allocated in the 2025 budget to work with the university to develop a comprehensive GBV sensitization program. This program can be done in partnership with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Social Development, and the TPS GBV unit to create a uniform response to reports of GBV, the Institute said in its release. It added that there was a need for protection orders to activate a much stronger mechanism of support, considering the number of women that have been killed even after getting such orders from the courts. Media personnel must be mindful of how the sensitivity of language needs to form part of their reporting on incidents of GBV. While sensationalizing helps to increase traction, consideration must be given to survivors or victims and their families. The Institute added that GBV incidents should be addressed in health policies and protocols, describing it as a health, social protection, and multi-sectoral issue. It said health practitioners should be educated in providing psychological and emotional support rather than physical treatment. The release called for state bodies employed to assist in the protection and support of survivors of GBV to commit to ensuring that they treat every case with due diligence regardless of the case history of the victim or personal beliefs. Kiefer Wilson, knocked down by a car and then beaten to death by a man who had been stalking her. They should recognize that in cases of death, they should ensure victims are not subjected to any form of victim blaming and the well-being of survivors and/or their families remains a priority. Any strategy to treat with gender-based violence, the Institute said, must adopt the 5 Ps model, which is prevention, protection, prosecution, punishments/penalties, and provision of redress and reparation. These considerations should also be extended to relatives of gender-based violence victims/survivors, as they may also be traumatized, not only in the present, but for years to come. A holistic, all-of-country approach is needed to treat with gender-based violence and its many consequences.
Guideware man on bond for camouflage items. Laurel v. Williams 3 hours ago. File photo. File photo. A 31-year-old man from Newlands, Guideware, who was charged with having camouflage items, has been placed on a bond in the sum of $75,000 to keep the peace and be of good behavior for the next 2 years. Colonel Christopher Matthews of Los Savin Circular faced Mayaro Magistrate Nizam Khan on October 22nd and pleaded guilty to having a camouflage t-shirt and 2 pairs of pants contrary to the Customs Act. Through defense attorney Ashton Dinanath, the court heard that Matthews bought the items a long time ago and wore them to go to parties. The t-shirt also has a Nike sign on the chest area. The court heard that it was a long time since Matthew had worn the clothing. Dinanath told the court that his client had no previous convictions or pending matters. PC Sarabjit laid the charge. Matthews will return to court for sentencing if he breaches the bond. Matthews was arrested before dawn on October 21st when Eastern Division Police searched his home on a warrant for guns and ammunition. Guayguer man on bond for camouflage items. Laurel v. Williams 3 hours ago. File photo. File photo. A 31-year-old man from Newlands, Guayguer, who was charged with having camouflage items, has been placed on a bond in the sum of $75,000 to keep the peace and be of good behavior for the next 2 years. Colonel Christopher Matthews of Los Savins Circular faced Mayaro Magistrate Nizam Khan on October 22nd and pleaded guilty to having a camouflage ministry. $7 million for Aranguez North SEC remedial work. Newsday Youth Lens and Opinions Education Project 3 hours ago. A student walks onto the school compound at Aranguez North Secondary School on Boundary Extension Road, San Juan on October 21st. Photo by Faith Ayal. A student walks onto the school compound at Aranguez North Secondary School on Boundary Extension Road, San Juan on October 21st. Photo by Faith Ayal. Education Minister Dr. Nyan Gadsby Dali said $7 million has been allocated for remedial work to the Aranguez North Secondary School, which has been bedeviled with health and safety issues leading to many of its teachers refusing to work. On October 21st, 35 of the school's 45 teachers issued a refusal to work notice, citing the school's occupational and safety issues. TT Unified Teachers Association President Martin Lumpkin said the Occupational Safety and Health Agency, OSHA, issued a prohibition and improvement notice in some parts of the school, namely Blocks E and A, the latter of which houses the laboratories and some of the science and visual and performing arts areas. He said the AC units have not been adequately serviced, resulting in some teachers falling ill due to poor air quality. He said approximately 59 classrooms have been identified as unusable and cannot house the 430 student population. He added the cafeteria has been shut down because of a leaking sewer line which passes under the cafeteria. Additionally, Lumpkin cited a lack of furniture and leaking roofs during rainfall. In a WhatsApp response to Newsday on October 22nd, Gadsby Dali said the contract in the amount of approximately $7 million was awarded today and work should begin by Friday of this week. She said these works include electrical, involving cable replacement and light fittings, replacing, repairing, and serving of sanitary fittings and AC units, cleaning and sanitization, termite treatment, and roof leak repairs. In a phone interview with Newsday, TUDA First Vice President Adesh Dwarika revealed there had been no water at the facility on October 22nd, resulting in the school's early dismissal. The ministry officials came, and they had a look. So, what they're going to try to do now is put that in the scope of works for the remediation. The minister would have indicated that $7 million was allocated for repairs in the school. I am hoping the necessary procurement would have been followed so that the work could start as quickly as possible. Dwarika said the refusal to work stance remains until OSH-related issues are rectified. The teachers would have signed a refusal of work and whatnot, but they want to come and do the job. They want to come to teach their children, but it has to be under conditions that are normal, under conditions that are healthy, and conditions that are safe. If that cannot happen, obviously we are going to continue with the issues that we have. He said the teachers will be occupying the designated safe space, which is the library. Work would have been done on the library in terms of sanitization and servicing of this unit. This will be their safe space. We were hoping to have the students in the hall to have some level of supervision, possibly by the principal and other administrators. We are hoping that the contract will be awarded as quickly as possible and the relevant remedial works done so that the teachers can be back in the classrooms teaching.
Hafrina Mohammed, a pleasant good morning to you, Hafrina. Bernadette Matu, good morning. All Bernadette, yes? Manifesto Police. Manifesto Police say Kamala Harris is the angel of
contractors closer
death.
to trial in EMBD cartel claim lawsuit. Jada Lutu 3 hours ago. Orapush East MP Dr. Rudal Munalal. Orapush East MP Dr. Rudal Munalal. Former Housing Minister Dr. Rudal Munalal and several contractors and former Estate Management and Business Development Company Ltd. EMBD executives are closer to trial in the EMBD's cartel claim lawsuit against them. This as the Privy Council, earlier this month, refused permission to some of the contractors to appeal the refusal of the Court of Appeal not to throw out the multi-million-dollar claim against them or provide better particulars of the allegations. The Privy Council refusal was dated October 8. It said the appellant's application for permission did not raise an arguable point of law or a point of general public importance. This means Munalal and the others have until November 15. File their defenses if they have not already done so. A case management conference will be held on December 9. Justice Frank Seepersad is presiding over the case and was forced to grant another adjournment of the matter pending the outcome of a ruling in the Privy Council in the multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the former minister and the others. Previously, Seepersad had granted an extension to Munalal to file his defense while agreeing to hold his hand for the others because of the case in the Privy Council. Munalal's defense became due 28 days after the Privy Council ruling. The contractors had approached the Apex Court directly, seeking special leave for a hearing there after being refused conditional leave from the local appellate court. Initially, Munalal and the others had until March 20 to file their defenses. Several others have already filed their defenses except for contractors, TN Ramnauth, Mutalal Ramhit and Sons Contracting Ltd., Fides Ltd. And Coal Company, Calco, who, on April 30, appealed a ruling of the Court of Appeal to uphold a judge's refusal to strike out the case against them. They argued the appeal court misinterpreted and misapplied well-established law governing pleadings, the requirements of a party to plead fraud, dishonesty and bad faith, attribution of knowledge of companies in torts of unlawful means conspiracy, knowing receipt and dishonest assistance, and well-established principles of law governing the duty of the court to strike out a claim of unlawful means conspiracy which does not plead all the elements of the cause of action. In their ruling in January, Justices of Appeal Charmaine Pemberton, Peter Rajkumar and Vashias Kokram upheld a 2020 decision of Justice James Abood to allow the EMBD's case to proceed. In August 2020, Abood dismissed preliminary applications by the 5 contractors to have the EMBD detail allegations against them so they could fairly mount their defense or strike out the claims. The substantive lawsuit centers around 12 contracts for the rehabilitation of roads and infrastructure granted to 5 contractors before the September 2015 general election. The contractors TN Ramnauth and Company Ltd., its CEO Taradoth Ramnauth, Coal Co. and Mutalal Ramhit and Sons Contracting Ltd. had initiated proceedings against the state-owned special purpose company for the almost $200 million balance owed on their respective contracts. The EMBD countersued the contractors, claiming they conspired with Munalal, former EMBD CEO Gary Parmesar, ex-divisional manager Madhu Balrup, and engineer Andrew Walker to corruptly obtain the contracts. Also sued by EMBD are Fides Ltd., Numulco Construction Services Ltd. and LCB Contractors Ltd.
Miss somebody there, boy. Only when I miss so they pass too quick. Hey, Makano, a pleasant good morning. Let me say good morning to Makano. Let me say morning to Ravi, aka Postman.com, his family, all of them. Mr. X. Malcolm X, good morning, Marcel. Listra, good morning, Listra. Benjamin, good morning, Benjamin. Narayan Harrigan, I don't tell Dave and Deborah already morning, you know. You see, you jump up late, you know, boy. You and Madam, only jump up late, you see? Only must join early, man. Anthony Medfords, good morning, brother. Gloria Escola, good morning, biggest. Oh boy, John, good morning. Piggy. Yeah, right, Piggy Paris. Piggy, I don't see over this Piggy look with it. Wow, she named Piggy. Hey, Tony Jail and all. Hey, that your name, boy, up to now, you're right back and let me know if that your name. Jail Tony or Tony Jail. What kind of name is that? Jenny Bell. Yeah, Jenny Bell, you done make your man breakfast. When you have that kind of name there, you clipping your toes, everything, girl. You see but that man good. You call it Jenny Bell? Jenny Bell. Come to your husband, Jenny Bell. Okay, honey. Jenny Bell, I can do with the coffee.
Dennis. UNC obstructing Tobago development. Paula Lindo 3 hours ago. Government Senator Ansel Dennis speaks on October 21 during the budget debate in the Upper House. Photo by Jeff Mayers. Government Senator Ansel Dennis speaks on October 21 during the budget debate in the Upper House. Photo by Jeff Mayers. Government Senator Ansel Dennis, in his maiden contribution to the Senate on October 22, criticized the UNC for blocking development in Tobago. He said the opposition had been nothing but an obstruction. He said when the UNC was in power, the only real project that was completed was the new meteorological office. Dennis said Tobago has thrived under the current central government. He said the new hospital in Roxborough had everything in place for 24-hour operation when the new THA administration came into power, but this had not happened. The current THA administration has no excuse. Has to do with priorities. This current administration has been treated better than the previous PNM administration, but they have not prioritized operationalization of that hospital. He said Tobago depended on the air bridge to bring people to the island. We have gone from having 2 flights out of the UK to 1 flight, because the current administration decided they wanted to send Virgin Atlantic packing. This new airport, with a capacity of 3 million people annually, is expected to attract significant new airlift to the airline. He said Tobago missed out on a great opportunity to accelerate its tourism sector success when it lost the Sandals Hotel. We saw what happened when a few Tobagonians said they didn't want it, supported by a few operatives in the opposition, because their intention is to obstruct, and any opportunity the central government takes for development in TT, they believe they must obstruct it. As far as they are concerned, it is party first and people after, so anything to advance their political ambition. Even it means obstructing development. They are going to do it. Dennis said after Sandals was dissuaded from building on the island and went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that country saw a significant increase in the number of flights to the island. Tobago's tourism sector would have been significantly changed. The hotel would have needed lots of eggs and lots of produce, so agriculture would have been positively affected. He said small hotels would have had more occupants as not all passengers would have gone to Sandals, and there would have been more linkages between Tobago and other locations. He said the UNC would obstruct development because it felt once the government looks good, it was not good for them on election day. To hell with the country, it's all about elections for them, and winning elections. But they don't understand the people of TT are wise, and we see through that. That is why we voted them out in 2015 and voted the PNM in again in 2020. Dennis said the UNC operated only for its own benefit, rather than that of the country. They are not a national party. They are a Trinidad party. The PNM is the only national Trinidad and Tobago party, so they, the UNC, will never put a candidate to run for Tobago East or Tobago West. They will meet with Farley and others quietly at night. They will plan their strategies and ensure that Tobago's resources, which were originally circulated in Tobago for the benefit of Tobagonians, are no longer available to the people of Tobago.
Senator Gopizing vows help for frustrated patients. Sean Douglas 3 hours ago. Dr. Tim Gopizing. Dr. Tim Gopizing. Opposition Senator Dr. Tim Gopizing promised that a future UNC government would set up a helpline for frustrated hospital patients, as he claimed that many patients have been languishing for months, some even years, while awaiting various forms of medical assistance. He spoke in the Senate budget debate on October 22. When we get into government in 2025, the citizens of TT may rest assured that we will establish a hotline, so citizens that feel disenfranchised and feel hurt by the health situation would be able to call in and get redress on a regular basis. Gopizing said the government had spent $63 billion on health in the past 9 years, but today patients in TT were dying like flies. Thousands of patients are suffering at home, for months, and sometimes years, waiting for a call for surgery, for clinic appointments, and they are waiting for proper medicines to be given to them. He quoted a letter to the editor published in Newsday on October 18 titled, "Waiting Years to See Doctor at Complex." Quoting, he read, "Presently there are patients of the heart, kidney, and other clinics who have not seen a doctor for at least 3 years or so. What is happening at the complex is that every 6 months the patient goes in and receives a new prescription for CDAP medication. Why are the patients not being given an appointment and time to be seen by a doctor in the respective clinic? He continued the letter, I know of people who have had stent insertion for 3 years and to date cannot be seen by a doctor, as well as people with heart and kidney problems who would have last seen a doctor 3 years ago. Gopizing opined, that is the state of our health sector. 63 billion spent and another 7 billion to be spent. He said patients die on hospital trolleys, and he recalled a medical colleague having to wait 12 hours the previous night to get his grandson admitted to a pediatric ward at a public hospital. Gopizing said he personally witnessed desperation among patients and their families to get medical help. He alleged some patients wait for days in the emergency department of hospitals. Do you know how many calls I get on a regular basis, being a senior member in the medical profession? Doctor, please try and help me. My family is there almost 3 days and can't get a bed in the hospital, and there is no one to call, no one to answer any questions. He said while waiting for help, some patients die in wheelchairs or on hospital trolleys. By the time the family goes out and gets the blood test done and has the result, the patient is dead. Adding his own thoughts to the letter, he said some hospitals lack proper equipment to do neurological, orthopedic, and cardiac surgery, and lack lab reagents and pharmaceutical drugs. Gopizing accused government of damaging the psyche of doctors, nurses, and other health professionals by not giving them secure contracts by which they could earn a living and go to a bank for a loan to buy a car. He also accused government of inactivity in enacting any of the suggestions made in the C. Mungle report into the handling of the COVID pandemic. Not one of those recommendations has been fulfilled. Gopizing accused the government of failing to properly manage the dengue fever outbreak, claiming the virus had killed upwards of 40 people in recent times.
Major role. When the next government come in power, we first have to make sure they ain't thief the elections. But I want to make sure we play a major this man, Kevin Ramnarine, former ex-energy minister. Young fella.
Ansa McAl tight-lipped over withdrawal of bid for Trinity Mall. Ryan Hamilton Davis 14 hours ago. Trinity Mall remains up for sale after Ansa McAl withdrew its offer to buy it, liquidators Grant Thornton states in an October 16th report. File photo by Angelo Marcel. Trinity Mall remains up for sale after Ansa McAl withdrew its offer to buy it, liquidators Grant Thornton states in an October 16th report. File photo by Angelo Marcel. Ansa McAl Ltd. has remained mum on the reason why it had a change of heart in the acquisition of Trinity Mall, one of the properties which was part of the liquidation process of CL Financial, which started in 2017. The company said it is contracted to stay silent on the ongoing process of the sale and acquisition of the property. Although we can confirm that Ansa McAl is no longer involved in the current and ongoing process, we remain bound by an NDA and cannot disclose specific details regarding the commercial negotiations, Ansa McAl said in response to questions sent by Newsday. Ansa McAl did confirm that while it is not continuing with the process, it is still looking for opportunities to expand. Ansa McAl holds substantial real estate assets and is continually exploring acquisition and development opportunities, both locally and internationally. This focus remains unchanged. The report by liquidators Grant Thornton, dated October 16th, which detailed the progress of its divestiture strategy, said the preferred bidder, Ansa McAl, withdrew from the sale of the mall. The report did not say when Ansa McAl withdrew its bid. As a result, brokers, Ernst & Young, started a new bid process with a deadline of September 16th. It has since begun reviewing the bids it received. The joint liquidators have considered the bids, and further due diligence by the prospective purchasers is ongoing with the final binding bids to be provided by November 22nd, the report said. The report noted that one issue with the sale process is that certain lands on which the mall was constructed are owned by different entities in the group. This means that it would be necessary to consolidate the lands into one single entity to make the sale easier. Progress is being made in a collaboration between the companies, the joint liquidators and attorneys working with the Board of Inland Revenue to consolidate the lands. During the reading of the 2024/2025 budget in September, Finance Minister Colm Imbert announced plans to divest 49% of the shares in Clicko, saying that the shares no longer held strategic importance to the government. He said selling the shares could earn the government significant revenue.
Vidya Hari Prasad, good morning. Annette Drakes, good morning. War, look at them war, that war we're going there with Ukraine. How much money turn out and make if this stupid government didn't close down the refinery? Petrotrin. Them so stupid, them in studying. If a war break out, at least we'd have been energy secure. So whatever 40,000 barrels coming out from by we here, we'd have been able to refine it to get all the dung products still. A geologist, volcanist, Dotish Prime Minister closed down the thing, you know. Imagine this stupid man. That is a stupid man, boy. Sita Commercial, a pleasant good morning to you. Always send all voice notes and things by the time while we go through the headliners. I know Lennox Smith will have all of that up, ready and waiting. Yep. Oh boy. Lennox Smith, a pleasant. Let's now let me get you up and running the bam. Yes, Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you, my brother. What you have for us in the this morning?
Well, as per usual, a pleasant good morning to you as well. First and foremost, am I being clearly listened to?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Of course.
And all we want is the headliners and just the first
pleasant
paragraph.
Good morning to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the world wide web. A pleasant good day to you. Yes, that is typical, and therefore there is no need to reiterate. Historian Pemberton, avoiding reparations issue won't end the campaign. Well, as you know, that is not on the agenda for the CHOGM meeting that has been held, of course, in here, Australia Day in Somao. Sorry if I cannot pronounce the name properly. Shoguna's traffic meeting postponed. That's a meeting, of course, that was carded by the mayor of Shogunas for looking at traffic issues having regard to the multiple should I say, events that will be taking place there. So it will be done today. Relatives of shot Caroni policewoman, a very, very disheartening, of course, situation, and continues.
Let me update what's going on with that policewoman now. I know they said she get it in she head and she's still fighting. She live like
yes, she's still in intensive intensive care
very good.
unit. Yes. Of course, the police are asking for prayer for her, Miss Quinna.
They want to pray. The country do not pray from no police cats. People not praying for nobody. What we want is all raise the detection rate.
Yes.
Where we want? We want to find the people that pull up and shoot you up. That we want. We want to find the person who called the shot. That send the people that do that. That is what we want from the police. We want to pray. When we want to pray, we instead of going to the pastors and the pundits and the priests no more. There's only few we can go to because the majority of them is demons too.
Yeah, I share your iration at this point in time, your anger. But relatives, of course, are asking for prayer. Of course, the commissioner of police condemns the shooting of the WPC Mahabir, and then of course we have the Police Welfare Association also, of course, not just giving their side of the story in terms of their concern, because they are saying that things are really getting out of hand, but they will spare no stone must be unturned in order to, of course, bring justice to this situation.
The police. How long now you hear them telling we things getting out of hand?
Well,
No
more
will
of
be
the
left
same
off.
is more deja vu.
This thing is getting serious. And it's that prayers we have to get from the same people over and over and over. And them incompetent bunch of Brady fools still there. All of them supposed to resign. I don't want not more pray. I don't want more things getting out of hand because we hear all that already. We even pray with Irma.
Yeah, deja vu, deja vu. Yeah. We did all of that. We did all of that. Yeah, so more.
Yes, we could pray.
So it's more of the same, more piling on of the same. And a person, of course, as you know, it is said that a person who does the same thing over and over and expects a different result, they either mad or they are totally foolish. Well, I think both of them could be ascribed to this situation. State TTPS media must responsibly address gender-based violence. I wonder why that is taking place now. This discussion. Well, in this case, it's violence, but of course, it's gender-based misogynic statements as well, because of course the acting prime minister have been accused of that blatantly in the parliament of all places, and yet still, of course, Rowley left him to act as prime minister. No punishment, a slap. That is not just a slap on the wrist. That is a promotion, and the population must be disgusted about that development where you're rewarding bad behavior, especially the highest, let's say, legislative chamber in this country. Go ahead.
Let me say good morning to Jacqueline, Sammy, and Brian John, LP2. I now see them look on you, but watch. Brian John is saying the police, we doom because the police cannot even self-protect their own. They cannot even solve a crime when it coming to their own ending up on the firing range or being shoot up like we. They don't have a detection rate for their own. Imagine the police only have real good, not even for the own, but the very good for when Colin and Bird call them about his son phone. What? Look at how they get back that phone. But they can't find that police woman, the shooters of that police woman.
Or the Minister of Health and his wristband as well. His wristband, yes.
Or the Minister of Health and his wristband.
Yeah.
The police can get back that. But their own police officer that gets shot, them can't help she. And the police service didn't realize how bad it get there, boy. They didn't realize that.
More of the same. And of course, don't forget that this is the third police officer that has been found at the wrong end of the bandits' gun. Because remember, just recently, off-duty suspended officer was killed. And then prior to that, there was another, and I'm talking in rapid succession. So it's very, very, it reminds me that rapidity reminds me of the rapid fire that I experienced last Sunday, I believe it was, when I had to be ducking on the program itself. Of course, I'm airing the corridor transformation. Gwayari, man.
Before you go to Gwayari, there are people actually seen in this country, not only online, but anywhere you go, that they really say it when they see crime or they see this or they see that. They don't waste the time to call police no more. They're saying it makes no sense you're calling police for nothing. Whether it be a home invasion, whether it be domestic violence, don't call police. Don't waste your time. That's how people, the mentality now, you know. That's the culture we going on. That's why police not getting information, you know. Don't call the police.
Well, more than that, that is why businesses are floundering as well, because people are going home earlier. They are taking precautions in their homes. They want to avoid certain places, and as a result, of course, the business is floundering, and it means that therefore there will be greater unemployment because they will have to lay off if you don't have patronage of your business. It means therefore that it makes no sense. If you want to stay in business, you have to reduce costs, and one of the easy, should I say, soft target will be employees. And then, of course, we can go on and on. And of course, then you have a situation where you have an increase now in this banditry. Yes, in this banditry and this criminal behavior. So it's a vicious cycle that this government must understand it is solely responsible for. Dr. Rowley said that when he said that if a government in office is unable to address the question of crime, then it has failed and it is part of the problem and must, of course, call elections. We are seeing that Dr. Rowley hypocritically is now, of course, staying on and holding on to something that clearly has already evaded him, and the population has already made up their minds. But of course, he living in a fantasy, and of course, the proof of the pudding will be when the election is in fact called and the returns of the poll comes in.
What Brian John is saying again? Brian John is saying our country too small and the Lennox the government import I follow law in the United States, and they find you real quick in that big country. Why it's so hard on this small island to deal with the crime when it are big countries handling it plenty better than when we so small? Why? And when most of the police, most of the politicians, most everybody know the lawbreakers and the underarmed people and them. Everybody know them.
Well, why I have argued that point.
LP said police has compromised their integrity, their independence, and their neutrality.
I want to agree with that last statement by that caller. Very, very, very good. Go to the top of the class. That is one of the areas. Of course, the smallness of our community means, therefore, everybody knows each other, and that would be also a factor. But I want to also compare it, let's say, with the New York City. In spite of all of that, and nobody would know each other so closely, being so familiar with each other. You have over 7 million people in that city, and at one time I remember when I was studying my criminology program, New York City was one of the case studies, and it turned out that of course it was the murder capital of the world. And today, of course, they are now, after certain intervention such as those implemented by Mayor Giuliani, when he was, of course, the mayor of New York City, there was something called the break window, the break window program, or where, of course, today they have less murders in New York City than in Trinidad and Tobago. So there is something drastically wrong with our detection. And why I'm making that comparison is because whilst we may be a small community, we know each other and so on, and that may militate against the people taking a hard line on their fellow men and women, but we have also invested tremendously in what is called objective policing and detection, meaning that we have all of the modern technology, we have forensic, etc. And one would have expected that even though you have a situation where you may be reluctant, of course, to charge a friend, or you may want a scuttle investigation, when the ballistic show that the bullet came from a particular gun, and a particular person was holding the gun, then that is sufficient, of course, to generate and to increase the detection and prosecution. However, in spite of all of that, it seems as though we are going backward still and further lagging behind in terms of getting these people behind bars. But that is reality. So, ministry, 7 million for Aranguez North secondary medial work. Well, of course, by now, of course, they have found, of course, $7 million. We now know.
When you put that kind of money on schools, that already there. Already, Bella New School.
Well, let me tell you this: Aranguez secondary school was left to deteriorate so much that, as you said, it almost cost it to repair it, because they say remedial work about the cost or a substantial part of a new school. But the school is there, so they're going to repair. But of course, the teachers have taken industrial action under OSHA. They are assembling in the library, the only place where that is habitable for a human activity, and but too small for the entire school population. and the
Right, then the
Ministry of
school got
Health.
to close.
Yeah.
Simple.
Of course, yes.
Or be relocated.
Yeah, and
And they can't do them
the
nothing.
minister has just said that they have identified multiple contractors to work expeditiously on the remedial work. How real that is? How
Brian
real?
John is also saying, before you go, Brian John is also saying,
Yeah.
police officer are part of the crime ring in this country, which in many other countries too, in this country. And to fix it, we must give police officers lie detector tests to get results in our country. So he's for the lie detector test, and I'm also say good morning to Neville John. Oh, Neville John, the Arima team that are lock on. Arima team, a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you that are lock on. Javika Balkaran, all of you that now jump on. Samantha, all of you, a pleasant good morning to you. Go ahead, Lennox Smith.
Well, that was bandied about and partially implemented by a former commissioner of police. I'm now, of course, head of the NTA. I talk about Gary Griffith. But of course, it was vehemently opposed by both the union representing the police officers and police officers themselves. They're saying that it violates their constitutional right. It was not, of course, one of the terms and conditions that they enter the police service. I don't know if legislation would remedy that, because, of course, it will also mean treating with constitutional matters, and you need a constitutional majority if you have to infringe people's right to privacy, because of course in these tests you have to ask people very private pieces of information, and that is where the stag is. Go ahead.
I'll laugh in here.
Go ahead.
Because somebody Tommy Mohammed, right up somebody. Let me take it out first before you think Tommy Mohammed, right?
Go ahead.
Tommy Mohammed asks, and then I go just say what I said, then I will want to hear what's your thoughts.
Good.
He asks, where is our pepper spray? Boy, Tommy, when is bullet? You ain't see Lennox ducking over. Blah, blah, blah. The bullets in this country and the way the people dropping pepper spray come like you're asking people, where's your toothpaste? You need toothpaste to brush your teeth this morning. Or you need just a little tip of sugar to put in a little water. That pepper spray, we always say that pepper spray thing was a waste of time. Who in the line of being robbed, gun, this, that, go and organize and put your gun in the pepper spray to take what, bullet and licks, more licks. Pepper spray in this relevant crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago is irrelevant. I will say who don't want to agree like them, you know. Pepper spray to defend myself is irrelevant in this timing.
Well,
plain talk bad
well, of
I
course,
defend myself among a family member or something.
Of course, Kamala Prasad Bissessa would have been correct on both fronts. The pepper spray plus, of course, defend your property with everything you have, including, of course, providing greater access to the same intimidatory, the same intimidatory weapons that they use. You must be able to respond appropriately. And we have seen certain instances where bandits were either shot on the scene or they had to flee because people would have utilized their licensed firearms. So that I think this government is hard pressed not to, of course, consider what Kamala Prasad Bissessa would have recommended. Fight fire with fire, in other words, in order to treat with this matter. As far as pepper spray is concerned, yes, we have the law for pepper spray, but here what? In order for you to get a bottle of that, you have to have a sort of quasi permission from the commissioner or some other authorizing agency to be able to purchase that. So there is constraint even with getting a bottle of pepper spray. In other words, you can't go in the grocery or in some drugstore, as Rowley at one time said that it was a public health problem and therefore you should treat with it, and therefore if you go to the nearest pharmacy and you take a tablet, somebody bullet will just evade you and go somewhere. That is the level of insanity we have purporting to be government and administrators of our concerns and our issue at this time. Munilal.
Charles.
Somebody was saying something? Go
Charles,
ahead.
pepper spray is not a must. Yeah, pepper spray is not a must. Leon Charles, LP, good morning. Good morning to you. Bashk, good morning. Nathaniel, all of you, listen all the voice notes now. Based on what is on all the front burner. Please send your voice notes one time in. Early, let's get the ball rolling based on what's on your front burner. Please, so as I got those voice notes, we will set a play it one time and then we will open the lines. Go ahead, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed, because Munilal, contractors are closer to trial in EMBD cartel claim lawsuit. Well, I think that is something that the latest development is that they will have, of course, to put in their defense. They went to the Privy Council, and the Privy Council said that there is sufficient material by the state for them to answer from the civil perspective and not a criminal perspective. Rowley would like to make you believe that they are facing criminal charges, but no, it is of course a lawsuit brought by the government via the EMBD of misbehavior in public office and of course engaging in some cartel arrangement. We have always argued that there can be no cartel in this country. Ramesh Miraj has made it very, very clear that we don't have that kind of legislation in Trinidad. And of course, not like the United States. We only have about 5 major contractors. So could you make a case for cartelism? Well, a cartel traditionally is a group of business persons, let's say, who of course determine price and determine who should get what at a particular point in time, particularly of course in this case where the state contracts are up for grabs. So let me put it that way. So we see how that develops, but the case moves on. Dennis, this one is very hilarious. Dennis, I talk about Ansel Dennis, the man who Rowley just recently, I would say by default, but by accident, because of course Lizama had to step out of the Senate under circumstances all of us know. It is alleged that she beaten. I want to use a term that you would use. She man and and hostile to her man, and as a consequence, she was booted out of the Senate. Whether she liked it or not, because there were those who were saying, no, don't do it, Rowley, but he did it. He had a moral conscience, but he had done for, of course, Stuart Young, and that statement that he would have made and still make him, of course, acting Prime Minister. Different strokes for different folks, I suppose. Dennis, UNC obstructing Tobago development. Now, just imagine that. I mean, this man sounds like an upstart. He sounds like a neophyte. He sounds like a dumbbell. He sounds like a nincompoop. He sounds like a fella who is devoid of the reality of Trinidad and Tobago. How UNC obstructing Tobago development? And he had the audacity to talk about only one project that the UNC had administered when they were in office, and that they are not a national party, regurgitating or parroting what Rowley would say they're not a national party because they're not in Tobago. Well, I wonder if you want them in Tobago. If they come in Tobago, you could be talking something different. But because that exists, he's talking that opportunistic political parasite, as their political kobo, if you want to call him that. But the fact of the matter is that I remember very distinctly the first project that the UNC did was to fix that Tobago hospital that they are benefiting from today. The Tobago hospital, Ansel Dennis, I noticed that you deliberately avoided that in your irrational and your mendacious presentation in the parliament. But it of course is similar to Rowley. I suppose you have to pay homage to the man who you being an afterthought and becoming a senator, you now have to pay, of course, pay the piper for the position that you now have. But the Tobago Hospital was the first project, which of course was mired because your boss was accused of moving material from that hospital to his landed private project and deprived Tobagonians of a hospital. And guess what? Why she was saying that UNC is a Trinidad party, and therefore they should act in a particular way, and that under under the Tobago arm of the PNM in Tobago, this administration, this Rowley administration, supported them handsomely. I'm talking about Rowley and then of course you made the case, and I'm showing you how asinine you are, and how stupid you are, and how inane you are, and how devoid you are of reality. You know, you say that as a result of that, the people boot out the UNC in 2015. You know, you ain't talk about you and the PNM was booted out in Tobago only recently in 2022. You damn fool. But that is par for the course. He had to say something, and I suppose to, of course, gain some kind of what I consider to be unmeritorious embarrassment. And I say unmeritorious embarrassment because no puerile or no infantile or no neophyte, no newcomer will make such an asinine presentation in the first stint in the parliament, and in this case, of course, in the Senate in that debate. Let's go straight, of course, to Gopi Singh, a senior seasoned politician and parliamentarian. Senator Gopi Singh vows help for frustrated patients. Well, of course, you know, he's an expert, and he gave all of the ingredients that this government has put into place for patients to have a phobia about, a fear of the hospital and the health system in this country. So those are the areas. One more thing I would want to touch on, and that is Ansa McCall tight-lipped over withdrawal of bid for Twin City Mall. I thought that there was something connected to the 1%ers that this government is connected to. Well, it appears that Ansa McCall has pulled out from the bid for Twin City Mall. I don't know what are the bids in at the present time, because that is what that suggests. And let's see how that evolves. But we are hearing some very troubling developments again, connected to members of this government, whether by extension or in the core of the government.
And City Mall, Republic Bank, all lies Clico assets.
Yeah.
But don't sell it out, but don't.
No, but I understand their friends, and in other words, I'm saying their friends and family and so on seem to want to buy it for peppercorn money. And of course, Wade Mark was very strident when he asked, well, who will be purchasing NP, whether MP is for sale, whether the port is for sale, and whether another entity, quite apart, of course, from the Pitch Lake, there are other entities that they are proposing to sell, the crown jewel, if you want to call that, of the country at this stage, in order, of course, to fund their 2025 budget. Yeah.
Where's the Afro?
Well, the British American shareholders, remember, we spoke about that yesterday, connected to Clico again. Well, they lost the case. So those persons who invested in Clico up the islands, Grenada, I think St. Vincent, St. Lucia, I think even Barbados and Jamaica, well, they have lost that case. The court said, the Caribbean Court of Justice said that it would have been impossible, and no way any part of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas could have meant that if a particular entity fails that is stationed in any particular territory, that it must, of course, see about those persons who might have invested and lost their money from other territories. That's essentially what I've gleaned from the decision made, and therefore they have gone back home empty-handed. The CCJ having made their decision, right? So that is that development. Of course, they had argued that they were discriminated against, and that they too, those Grenadian and Vincentian and Barbadian and Jamaican investors should have also been given some handsome support, as was the case in Trinidad, when, of course, the bailout took place and the government invested public funds to, of course, give them that bailout. Of course, we know subsequently that the Rowley administration knowing full well that these entities, most of them have resurfaced, whether it be Republic Bank, whether it be Angostura, etc., but continued, of course, in the courts to wind up these companies, that wind up the ownership, and of course seek to own them by way of Clico and CL Financial not being able to meet their financial commitment to the state and took it over. Of course, in the process, as they normally would do, very myopic in understanding that what you have done is throw hot water on the entrepreneurial spirit. Imagine people come together and build those entities over many years, and you just come and go to the court and say they can't pay me, even though you could work out an arrangement for them to pay sometime and leave them to flourish and of course suggest that the entrepreneurial spirit in Trinidad and Tobago people could rise to the occasion, come from nothing and build something that is so fantastic that it has gone not up the islands or throughout the Caribbean, but also in other metropolitan countries and on other continents. And Rowley and they, by one fell swoop, by going to the courts and mashing up and destroying Clico and of course CL Financial, they have achieved that. Boy, these people are poisonous, they are toxic, they have weaponized government against the people, and they will have to pay the price criminally and civilly at the appropriate time when Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC get back into office. And of course, we know we can do better, we must do better, and we have a duty, of course, to demonstrate all of the above when the government would have changed. Rowley and their asses are grasses as far as I am concerned. What again, that is where I would want to pause. You want me to go on again?
Nah, the lines are open,
Right.
Trinidad and Tobago. The lines are open. What's on your front burner this morning? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me get the numbers. 225. But meanwhile, send your voice notes. Send your voice notes on what's your front burner. 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Or give us a WhatsApp call or send a WhatsApp voice note at 366-3053, 366-3053. The lines are open.
Well, don't forget, of
You can
course,
go ahead
Robinson
and-
Regis is saying that the PNM leadership is not in chaos. Well, anytime they come out and feel that they are compelled to say that, bet your bottom dollar the opposite is the case. Once them people tell you to jump, you know you have to stand up. If they tell you to close your eye, you know you have to open it wide. Well, of course, the fact that she could come and say that, we know that it is in chaos. So people, we have to, of course, to take the advantage, take it to them, and force them, of course, to call an election sooner than they would like, because they are, in fact, imploding.
Nice. Anything else for us while we await calls? The lines are open.
Okay,
Right?
yeah, Robinson, we just say
that.
that you have, of course, 9 Waterfield residents get new homes to make way for recreational facility. And you always have to, of course, treat with this government with a high degree of skepticism, because there's always some ulterior motive that is to steal and to get paybacks and all of that. So they give them that, of course. But
Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, caller. Sorry about that.
Gentlemen, morning. Call it Poppy back.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, you know, for the last month or two, we hearing about PNM leadership and who's best to run the PNM. And, you know, I don't know what is wrong with. I don't want to hear about no leadership of PNM. I want PNM totally and forever gone. Whoever who's the leader, if you bring man to be the leader, I don't care. PNM. Sorry. That is what PNM has brought to this small, pleasant, and loving country. From the time they from the time evil, wicked people, devil, named Eric Williams, went and say, I am the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, was pain and misery. And we feeling it even worse now. After 67 years, we have to understand that it's 50 years PNM governed this country. And even when there was not in office, they still governed the country because they had all their institutions well oiled with their sycophants, like the public service, the union. And now, when they kick all of them to the side of the road now, everybody running, coming out to look for some alternative. But just imagine Trinidad and Tobago without a PNM. We'd have railroad running in this country. We'd have the sugar industry still operating. We'd have been exporting the best cocoa and coffee in the world. We would have been having one of the biggest booming energy sector in the world. We would have a sugar industry still functioning and operating and bringing revenue to this country. Plus, we would diversify our tourism industry and make it into a tourism industry. Not where we talking about this nonsense with this talk about tourism and things. We could have one of the best cruise ship industry in Trinidad and Tobago. Where Trinidad is situated, we are away from the hurricane belt. So all them European cruise ships that coming down to the Caribbean and things would have come to Trinidad for sure. But we neglected that because we had oil and gas and PNM was the government at that time. And still is. So all these things is what would have made this country so beautiful. The people would have been so happy with each other. We would have respect each other. We would have love for each other. We would not be killing out one another. You living right in this street and I living right in the next guy can go by you and talk to you and all these kind of things. That is what PNM has done to this country. And just take Guyana for a little comparison. Guyana now have a government that you could say is similar to when Trinidad and Tobago became independent and found oil and things. You would see the difference in Guyana. What bet it would never have a PNM existed in Guyana. Now, if you still have a few sycophants, but no matter what you do, you can't convince them to, hey, look, now your life better, you're more happier, you're more comfortable, you're living better. So you can still have them, a few idiots like the sycophants who just follow Rowley and them. No matter what you do, them still can't see betterment. And what I could bet you, if the president of Guyana call an election right now, today, he's going to win every single seat in Guyana, and he's going to remain the president for as long as he chooses in Guyana, because Guyana now realizing what governance is supposed to be, how it's supposed to be, and what the resources of the country should be doing, and who's supposed to be benefiting from the resources. Not only 1% of the population, not people who bringing in all the fancy franchise in the contract, shipping out all US money, and you can get that money. Look, we have a circus come down in Trinidad for the last month or two. I want to know, when you and I go to the bank, we can get $100 US. You have to get all kind of excuse. All this money these people have made for the last how much years? I wonder if they put in money in their briefcase and carrying it back for them. This US money, millions of dollars US them could be carrying back to them. But when we want other money, so take a trap, we can get. Like just a show you again. We don't want to get leadership. Could put a trap as a leader, that's no problem. Fuck any matter. I don't want to hear about PNM. I want PNM gone. I want you got to remove the chips on them. I wanted to remove PNM. I don't want to have a history in my mind for my children them to even think that a PNM has existed and get rid of it. But again, you have 300,000 people in this country. Be like trapper, we are put in the hot cold water, and you start to heat it up until you boil them and all of them there. Happy and smiling. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the holiday and peace.
Thank you very much. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you. Where are you calling from and what's your contribution on the Gong Report this morning?
Powerful presentation, man. Good morning.
I want to talk. There is a commissioner by the name of Mr. George. We all know him. And what did he say about Erla? He said, Erla is confused. What's the other thing he said? Not very good comment. She is also not performing. It is education. And people have to understand how come this gentleman have been making these things. And you know why he has been making those things? He basically understood what the Joint Select Committee on Policing was. And the fact that he made those, I wouldn't say derogatory comments, but the comment that signifies that she was clueless and confused, in fact, to a report, part of the report, the Joint Select Committee, where they said during the committee that a gentleman, a sergeant in the special branch. Remember, at that point in time, she was the leader of the special branch. A sergeant who was in the special branch was leaving up to a policeman in the airport. And she had to say she wasn't aware of that. Imagine you inside a special branch and you're not aware. You have to be confused and clueless. And he makes those people leadership in yes now. All of those things. So Martin does have a point. And was appointed a commissioner right after the policing. That is most striking. That nobody took. But those policemen who alleged that time was what has happened when that committee was being done. The parliament but it continue. So the current leadership, if they had investigated properly, might not have existed because there is an nexus between them and the current leadership in the government. And people, I want everybody to post and publish that Joint Select Committee again to remind people where the police service has come. I mean, they say if a former police service committee, but the commissioner of police is confused and clueless, what does that say to the police service? And it has collapsed. It has collapsed, and we can never get. She's saying she wants to remove guns from the illegal guns in the place. When they take the High Court from our police station 2 years ago, they found out when all the guns go from the forensic center, they get back. When Alexander find that the guns price to be cut, where they got those guns from? People have to understand the police service appears to be the problem, and we have to be honest with ourselves. The police service is in not the back pocket of the current leadership of the PNM, you know. It is in front pocket. And the current leadership is so clueless. They continue to take direction, not as Jam Jacob said, he is only take advice. But these people, because they're clueless and they have no ability to themselves, they take a direction, that's why they keep calling up. Look at police who they shoot in kind. If they use the same strategy as they said in the Joint Select Committee on the data policing, they had to work because one officer, I don't want to call him, he's a sergeant, he must be a big boy now. He said they had that is a crime fighting mechanism to go after the criminal who set a policeman. They're fooling us left, right, and center. They should take back 4% that they negotiated. I'm feeling sorry to say that, but they had to say that. And I mean, they say he should be at the front burner now, marching against the government. Police service insurance are going to have a nice one.
Thank you very much, caller. Oh boy. Very, very good points.
Oh yes, a very high level discourse, and I think as we go into the elections and we discuss dispassionately and objectively and analytically people will increasingly realize how they are personally affected and know that it is imperative, it is almost, not almost, but it's a necessity that you get rid of Rowley and the PNM in particular and relegate it to the dustbin of history, because they will continue, of course, in that way. They're like dogs sucking bone, and it's very difficult, of course, to dissuade them, having regard, of course, to their history and their antecedent.
So who like dog sucking bone there?
Yeah. They accustomed sucking egg, raw egg and so on. Yeah, sucking egg, not bone. If I say bone, it would be a Freudian slip. It would have been egg I'm talking about here. Dog sucking egg, they're destructive and need to be, of course, put away.
Yes.
Permanently.
Yes. Need to get rid of them, huh?
Yes, that's
All
right.
right, let me play some voice notes there. Let me play some voice notes. Oh boy, let's play some voice notes in the house, man. Yeah. So who like dog sucking bone there? Where's that? Who like dog sucking bone?
Sucking egg.
Are you?
You could suck bone too, but egg is the terminology.
All right.
It would have been egg I'm talking about here. Dog sucking egg, they're destructive and need to be, of course.
But how are you hearing you? Yes.
Permanently.
You want something else? Let me play some voice notes there. Let me play some voice notes. Oh boy, let's play some. Where the hell is this, boy? Dog sucking egg, bone. I hear all kind of thing in the background there.
Oh, you reconciling something on your side?
Something is on my. I think it is on your side there. I say, wait. Egg, bone. I say, why you in here?
Well, I heard it regurgitated here. I heard it reverberated here, echoed here.
Yeah. Let me play the voice notes, Shannon Tobago. Let's hear what the voice notes and them getting with this morning here. Let's hear.
Good day, ground report. This is Anthony from Pinal. At the Wilson Road Recreation Ground, 22 lights not working. We make a request, 20 requests at TNT to get the light fixed. They never come and fix it. MP Kamla's windball cricket is going on at the Wilson Road Recreation Ground. Please come and help us out to get through to fix the light. Please come and help us get through to fix the light. Wilson Road Recreation Ground is in Pinal. That's MP Kamla consistency. Ground report, this is Anthony. Good morning. Listen what I say, right? At the Wilson Road Recreation Ground, 22 lights are down. We make 10 requests for TNT to come and fix the light for us and never come and fix the light. Kamla holding her Wimble, teacher and Wimble cricket on the ground. 22 light is down. We're asking TNT to come and fix it. Please come and help us. Thank you.
Andy, good morning. Big Ram here. Morning to you, Lennox and Mikey. Locked on and listening. Andy, if they were to do a lie detector test in Trinidad for police officers, my brother, at least 95% of these officers will show that they're in crime or they're involved in crime. 95% of them. So hence the reason why police will be objected to having a lie detector test. Only when you have something to hide, then you're going to object to something. In America, they do it. This is being done in America too. Lie detector tests. For me, it's a good idea to do lie detector tests with police officers who is involved in criminal activities. Again, for me, 95% will be involved in this nonsense. And we have a blessed day, locked on and listening. Big Ram here.
Andy, good morning. I will listen to that stupid talk about UNC handbug in Tobago development. UNC, they're in power. Why they don't sit down and think about what their own leader doing them, trying to push a man on them that nobody want, and he's a Johnny come lately and the rest, and they when they're inside there, you want to put them below the bus. Kamala did a lot for us when she was there. Gas station, she finished the hospital, waiting for the equipment and the material. She come and she finished it. She finished gas station to do MIC. And all of a sudden, London find she was disingenuous. But now that he coming over with all his ministers to do things here, them ain't disingenuous. Them looking for kickback from the contractor where they give the work to do. So they know why they're coming over here. Don't study them people there, you know. Don't worry about them. To be Ghanaians accustomed to them when it's election to play the race game. We are accustomed to that. You go bring in Kamala in there with the race talk, and we ain't care about that race there again. That done. Let look for another race to run. We fed up ahí. We have a black man inside that ain't doing nothing for we, so we ain't care nothing about race. We're looking for somebody to help Tobago, not them. Them ain't helping we. They thief for 21 years, thief with all the money, what they want with them, give their friends, family, and finances, and they wasting money down on an airport down there and displace people. We have to cry now because the money they give them and what to build a house. Forget them people, they come and doing nothing. Kamala did her best for Tobago. And if she go back there, she will do better. Have a good morning.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning to all the listeners, all on YouTube, Facebook, everyone, all morning, pleasant morning. Andy, I sent you a clip, it's a big tune, man. Run the track now, man. And Israel Bacchanal taking place in the Lacare, in the PNM, boy, if you hear action going on, right? They don't know who is the leader right now because it have a riff and all kind of thing going on in the PNM right now. Boy, Israel Bacchanal.
Good morning, Andy, Mikey, Lennox, Newbie, and everybody out there. You know, we've heard about the ghost whisperer, the dog whisperer, the Zami whisperer, and now we've discovered that Anderson is a homosexual whisperer. Anderson knows everybody who are homosexuals, right? But he pointing fingers at other people, but he should look at the tree that pointing back at him and check his big son. I make no apologies, you know. You want to come after me, I will go after you. Shake your family tree, Anderson. Shake it and see all the homosexuals are falling out of it. You have such a little nasty mind, right? That you don't care what you say about people. But it's about time somebody put you in your place. And let me tell you something. I was the one that made a video thinking of Kamala and them. So when you want to come and talk crap about cause of B, they go lose the election, no, it's cause of you. So you better shut your mouth and stay away. You're barking up the wrong tree. I know about it, you know. Because I give away those 7 lunch tickets and you ain't get one. And I will make sure anytime I'm involved in anything, you wouldn't get anything. And I will pass on the word not to give you anything. So you want to come after me, Anderson? You and whoever want to come after me, all you come, bring it on. Bring it on. And you want to meet me in the market Saturday? Meet me in the market. Meet me in the market. I am not afraid of you. But so remember, when you want to point your homosexual finger at people, look right inside of your house and see what's going on. Andy, thank you very much.
Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Morning to the ground report, Mighty K. Lennox Smith and the Mighty Pitbull. Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lot of different things that people have to come out and talk. I'm going to say something concerning the UNC. I am very dedicated, want to see my party win and be successful. But we have a man like Rajbal. I don't know if all you know of that name. I haven't seen this man for the longest while. I don't know if he died or he is living. Why when people have to take up the oath to serve as your counselor? So many different ills we have in our country, in our area. For instance, the drain cleaning. I have a main drain back of my home. I never see one day they come and clean it. Why it is that they don't investigate and see that people who live around and do the major work and be compensated? I could be sitting home and doing that job and maintain that whole back drain because it's not my water alone. Everybody water passing there. But no cleaning, no cleaning. All the drain have grass growing like if it's a jungle. People in the Rivulet Road passing and just emptying rubbish all over. Where is a councillor job really in the area? We need to go to funeral and I mean it goes song like Abash in the UNC. But this is why I came out here this morning because I want to see my party win. Kamala is a person, is a nice person, but it's not every information that a woman would have. Look, for instance, like my good leader, Mr. Rudy Endarasingh. Once in a time, you would see them election passing, shaking your hand, giving you a hug. I went to the Goodly Man office, asking him for his support in, for instance, some material so that I could do some printing for the general election coming up, to put up some wherever I have in my mind, I don't want to disclose. Up to now, I ain't get a word from them. I had to make appointment to go and see them. When they passing by my home, everybody come out, meet your NP, hug up. I'm not bashing my NP, but they need to do better than that. We have a lot of ills taking place. For instance, the protection of the village and where police protection is, you don't even see them. As something happen, they're in front of your door, like if you commit a crime. All this type of stupidness have to change. If you do what a job, do accept it. Like Mr. Rajbal, give somebody the opportunity to do what you can do. No, I'm not bashing all the guys. I love the party. But because all they feel, all they just come in here and do all they want, a lot of people in the ground do support you, all they check all the record and see the the local election, how much Rajbal get. I was around, I support him, but I don't like him. I still support him because I want my party to be successful. So I hope that all will take heed and understand that all on top, we are the bottom, and when we speak, nobody care about us. So I'm sorry to say this morning. And that guy they call Port of Spain, we talk about a garbage dumping and you just say your neighbor this. Because of that neighborhood, I get myself in some problem. So fella, you are very stupid and you still have to get your act straight. We pay taxes and all that. I think the government job is to secure the nation in all different ways so that we can get into trouble. So I want you to get that back of your head, fella. You are the bottom of the pit. You always talk nonsense on the radio. I wish if the ground report will never hear you because you ain't making sense at all. I'm sorry to say this, but ladies and gentlemen of Trinidad and Tobago, I love you guys. And I wish that we need help and things could change in a better way for our lives. Thank you.
Andy, morning. What is guys saying about police doing lie detector tests? There's a lot of police. You don't realize that there's a lot of police that have been associated with crime. It is alleged, right? Associated with crime. Well, on the ground, it is that when the police and them do this drug bust, it have the criminals and them who just bribe them with the money and whatnot. So that how the money does be lump sum, plenty money right now. There's police who have open tent rentals business and thing. You understand? And everything that is a money front. So there's a lot of police and some who is investigating the police. We need a foreign body to investigate our police in Trinidad and Tobago, our police officers, their lifestyle, who have luxurious vehicles, big mansions. Look at their lifestyle. I mean, to say yes, people just work hard for what they want, but something needs to be done because there's a lot of crime that involves in police and the drug lords and them is send a hit from the prison. Just imagine the police could tap your phone too and exactly where the call coming from. So something needs to be done. I only look into this because real crimes going on outside here and nothing seems to be doing about it. Look at what happened. How Terrence Dale Singh bracelet was robbed from him and now within matter hours he get back his bracelet and they could identify who robbed him. So it's the same. And what happened to them, all them unsolved robberies that is taking place? Somebody need to investigate the police because watch me, something going on wrong in this country. Right? Look, somebody need to investigate. Trinidad cannot do it because the whole judiciary system compromised. So guys, have a nice day and blessed.
Mother Bunny, give you a rest now. Go and try defend you continue defending failing Fally. As you pick me little end, Fally is the best thing since sliced bread. But what he go do for all you? What he go fix all you?
Andy and everybody else, good morning. Andy, this place in Guayari on Maya Road, where they found the police clothes and gun and everything, right? You know they put that man on a 2-year probation. You, Andy, who is he? Who is the magistrate or judge or whoever laid down that judgment on that person? This whole government service is so run by the PNM that they could call shots and the people have to obey it, you know. Otherwise, or else, boy. 2-year probation, a probation. Another issue with this bail system and this court system, magistrate system. A man slap his wife and they put he on $500,000 bail. Another man on a rape charge get bail for $150,000. Another man on a rape charge, I recently get bail for $200,000. When that person rapes somebody, they destroy that person for the rest of their life. You know? Another front burner issue, Andy. Some union leader went to America. Some Trinidad union leader, I don't know which one, I ain't calling no name. Went to America and was charged for sexual assaulting. You hear what I'm telling you? He was charged for sexually assaulting a woman. Right? The next front runner, you see that policewoman where they shot. There were, in my opinion, I don't feel that was no robbery. I don't trust police people. They all, I ain't seen all of them, but some of them has been involved in things, and that looked like they come to execute that woman, right? That policewoman. But another issue is, Andy, you know an entourage of the police music band went to New Jersey and the Bahamas, I think, to play music. For what? Who paid that bill? What is the cost of that bill if it was funded by the taxpayers' dollars of Trinidad and Tobago? What is the cost? Andy, thank you very much.
Morning, Lennox and the mighty crazy. Same dirty in blood. Go hold back funds for Tobago. Go hold back. Remember, they just send when disaster came. When disaster came, they just send checks for any country that Caribbean thing. They just pay a premium. I ain't lying, Trinidad just pay because them in charge. But the money was sent for Tobago to all them disasters that happened, and in both keep all. When the Secretary of Tobago asks him about the money, he tells she that she do study that money there because them do Tobago don't pay the premium. All these things, these government them nasty. These fellas go walk away 2.6 billion. Nobody ain't talking about that. Nobody ain't go and post up in both house and them kind of thing there. But a lady take a like a side or something in a thing, and a revision and say woman living comfortable what she house. But in both thief $2.6 billion. And nobody in protest and nobody in thing. Everybody go and die down now. Everybody gonna forget about that. You understand? And that must be the reason why Rowley and make him both the acting prime minister. Is because they know he thieves so much. He shared amongst them, you know.
You call back when I taking calls there, my dear friend, because we will want to hear your contribution this morning.
He was so much a thief now. All these things. But we blew in Tobago. I keep telling you that Tobago done blue, and we taking Tobago east and west. When we get them 2 seat there, then you go see the balls start to play because right now, fight them hand tied. They can't really do nothing. You can't really get international help. But you see when we get in the parliament, taking help from hell and heaven to make sure Tobago get freedom.
You, Mr. Porterspin, you sit down in your little corner right where is there right now, and you study to beg for a little Wi-Fi so that you could be able to send a little message on the ground report. This is a solid program. This is a hard platform, you know. If you ain't know what you're on, this is a program with positivity, you know. It have no negativity here, you know, beside in yourself, you know. Right now, you come like a bad apple in this whole good bunch because you ain't making no sense. You have to stay with your political leader and start to plead and beg God for forgiveness right now because you ain't making no sense at all. You understand what I'm saying? What it is wrong, you making it to be right in your own way. You could stay in that zone right there because illiterate people, we don't deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? Don't turn the sweet, nice educational program into the confusion and bacchanal corrupted thing where you grew up in your zone there. You understand what I'm saying? We just deal with goodness. We just deal with happiness. You see that sad, ignorant, jealous-minded, underneath behavior you have there? You stay there and hustle a little $2 and $3 when the day come. And when the month come, you only get a little one-day work. Or however it's going with you right now, you stay in that zone because we're looking for betterment in this country. If you can't understand that, well, something wrong with you. You rock so with a corrupted, undermined, dirty-minded PNM government because they are the same people who are saying, if we in charge, we will deal with this and we will deal with that. What happened? They're like them little children who crying for toy when they get, they can't deal with it. You understand what I'm saying? So study to run in washrooms and go and beg for a little Wi-Fi to send a little voice note on the people ground report. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't making no sense, partner. You stay there in your zone where you can't even go from here to there properly. You stay right there because you like it so. You understand? It's always to contribute for the government to be where it is today. You understand? To do what they want, but we don't condone them thing. We just deal with straightforwardness and goodness. And take what I'm telling it, hurting you to know in 2025, your new prime minister going to be Kamala Prasad Bissessa, and you will have to live with that. You understand what I'm saying? God does wear pajamas, but he don't sleep. You could say you have your mouth for your own opinion and say, that's my family, I pick it up for the woman. You could say what you want. At the end of the day, your people, your government is the real murderers. Your government is the real thief. Your government is who in a lot racket. You have to sit down right there and study that. Just remember, don't come for nobody unless they send for you because they're making no sense. Start to plead and ask God. Go down on your knees, scrape your mouth to the ground and ask God to forgive you from now for all the wrongdoing you're doing. Don't feel people ain't know. Continue begging for $2 and $3 when the day come and don't try to come out of that kind of life. Andy, PNM nothing, yellow is the code and is that. And Andy here now, Mr. Porterspin, the two side of him mouth white in it. The man didn't even have breakfast in the morning or even drink a cup of nice cappuccino French vanilla latte. What we drinking? You understand what I'm saying? Thank God we can still drink that. Just imagine he again nothing and he's still defending our government when giving him nothing. Tell me these kind of people making sense in society now. Them contributing to things to be worse or to be better. Them is part and parcel of the problem. So that's why he and the government have to ride out. Trust what I'm telling you. Shen Begonian, we all know everything is timing and it's that.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hey, let me say a pleasant good morning to Mikey K. A pleasant good morning to you.
Yes, my brother, and is that. Good morning to you, my brother, Andy Pitbull Williams. Good morning.
Yeah, we hear you loud. We ain't hearing you again. Because now we hearing you loud and clear there, man.
It's
Yes.
fixed now. It's
Yes,
fixed now.
yes, yes.
All right, good. Good morning to you, my brother, Andy Pitbull Williams. Morning to you, my brother, Lennox Smith, our technical director. And of course, to the good folks locked on Gael TV in a few minutes. And those on Real Media TT on Facebook and YouTube and all over the world. Good morning, Sister Al Tobago. Yes, Andy, and is that. You want to continue with the voice notes?
Yeah, well, let's have a few more just to play out here quick.
Yeah, man. Got some interesting stories, I must say. Yeah, quite interesting.
All right.
I think the quality and the level of discourse.
After you talking about that's where you are the front thief in the supermarket. You have no shame.
And there you go, a contradiction to the normative behavior. And now saying the level of discussion is so high that you can't be but amazed as to the quality. And there it is, of course, you come and tarnish the whole thing. But I suppose in every ointment there may be one or two flies.
Well said, Lennox.
Andy, Lennox, ground report. The guy that raised concerns about his counselor, his UNC counselor, and the MP for his area, basically neglecting their duties to a great extent. He's correct, though, and this is something that Kamala and the rest of the heads of UNC need to address. And it should be mandated that whether you're an MP, whether you're a councillor, you spend more time with your constituents. You visit the areas. I mean, come on. This is something that people all throughout Trinidad have been complaining for decade after decade, and that needs to stop. Because UNC has served Trinidad and Tobago far better in their 10 years than PNM has done in their 45 plus years, right? They have developed infrastructure, they have built the economy, they have promoted and developed the economy far better than PNM has done in the past 45 years. So I'm not trying to bash, just like what the man said, I'm not trying to bash UNC, but there's a lot that needs to be done when it comes to the local level of it, the local aspect of it in the various constituencies, in the various districts. These councillors are just getting paid and you don't see them until it's time for elections. I'm waiting for my councillor in San Grande to come and pass by me whenever it has local elections again. I will tell him plainly, better you pass me straight. I voted in UNC, but better you pass me straight. Because every time you contact him, it's always an excuse as to why basic issues aren't being attended to. Right? The other day when they were given a certain amount of funds to be able to pave the roads, right, or patch the roads or whatever, right? They pave a side road in Gilk Street, right, where big shot people live in, where rich people live in, and they leave the big, huge pothole at the corner of Lindsay and Gilk Street, right? And I asked him, I said, so why you all did not make the pothole by the corner the priority instead of that side road? Give me a set of stupid excuses. Right? Give me a set of stupid excuses. Things that is not even logical. It doesn't make sense what the excuses were. Right? I wouldn't call his name. But at the end of the day, to me, it's ridiculous what is happening at a local level. We all know the regional corporations are being starved. But when you do get the little funds, oh gosh, use the funding to be able to address the major issues that we are facing in our districts now. Make sure those issues are addressed first. Make sure those are made priority. So, Kamala, you need to make it a mandate, make it mandatory that your representatives at the local level serve better than what they're doing right now, because a lot of them doing real tata.
And Nathaniel, I agree with you 100%. That we can't be pointing our fingers to others and bypassing. But I like how we deal with it in a very professional way. And it's not everything Kamala Prasad says will know. And then the little diggy birds that go in and talk to her, telling she everything all right. When a lot of those UNC councillors playing the fool for simple things. Playing the fool. and making lack of funding an excuse for their what? For your non-appearance of your burgesses. No money and nothing to do with you going and visit your burgesses and stand up with your burgesses. So you need money in the corporation to go on and represent your burgesses. Come on now, man. So very, very, very good voice note. And I say I must have put in that one. Whether I support the UNC or not, whoever, stubbornness is stubbornness. I'm here business. Who vex? Loss. The right thing is the right thing. If I can tell PNM where they're wrong, must be able to tell UNC councillors if they're playing the fool too. Without fear or favor. Because again, I know no councillor. And it's the right thing to do. The right thing. Right, let me continue. So all the councillors on the UNC side that have good ones working hard. Just be there representing the people. I could call one or two of them names. Good councillors. Working hard. The rest of them, they get big-headed, swell-headed. They're not checking the people. They're not standing up with the people. And again, I'm not talking about when you get... We understand the corporation is being starved. We are far from that. We are talking about being there with your people still and showing them that you're standing with them. You're supporting them. Yeah, I did put in this paperwork, but boy, we have no money. Ting. But hey, I stand up here with you. Ting. Be around your people. Let me continue. Me fighting this, all they said, mediocrity, Me replacing one to bring nothing else different, but that is local. But this general here is all about the UNC must win this next election by any means necessary, because all of we could be in real trouble if the UNC win this election. But they have to watch the EBC. Look at how long Mikey K talking about the EBC. Whether Kamala Prasad be herself and come out. All them MPs that are young ones too, supposed to be mobilizing their people to head to EBC. Because all the promises and all the talk about all the things that they will do if there's a winner election, why? All your backup, we on Gael time, all your MPs and councillors too. Come on. The UNC will only be able to implement, all the MPs will only be able to implement, all the councillors will only be able to implement with a PNM out of power. What are they doing to mobilize the people when it coming to the EBC? Forget about Kamala, Lishi, individuals, or all the rest of you all individuals. Not Kamala, all the rest of you. All the young and strong, all they getting a salary, all they have perks. Get all yourself out there. Why? Because even if we lose the election, some of them still have perks. But I also calling on Kamala Prasad so when she win, that opposition members, anybody in the opposition, so when PNM go back in the opposition and all, must not get no perks. They must not have no perks, nothing. Your perks must only become when you're in government. So in that way, they have to work for the money. Work for the money. No perks. I will ask that. Put in the manifesto. Show the sternness. That's a long time in opposition. And you're not working for your money. No perks for you. But some of them there, be quite have perks. And be quite have a salary. Some of them just don't care to win the next election. Who vex loss again, election coming in. PNM going to take the election through the EBC with a new electronic voting management electronic system. I don't doom. So all of them who hearing what he's saying here and feeling well, look how he talking about the UNC there. Look, he pulling up the opposition and the members on them, and the councillors on them, and whoever. All they can't do me one goddamn thing. I done been punished by the PNM presence anyhow. And with them winning back, I'll be more punished. All of we being punished. So this is where it's called constructive criticism. Take it in all the pipe and smoke it. Get all your lazy selves, some of you, out there. Fight without Kamala. Make a name for yourself. Kamala Prasad says make a name for her, you know. So get out there and make a name for yourself. Just the same way the Gong Report made a name for ourselves, not by talk, by hard work, by commitment, by wanting to live better, by demanding we live better. Hey, I what? Victimize what? Look at victimize. Rowley done victimizing me and the whole country already. And we don't know it as some of you within the UNC they have a kind of way of victimization with all here. All about talking the party, all about we lose. Hush your stupid mouth. All the non-performance and it's what we're going to make we lose. All they not wanted to come out there and motivate all the people for we to go by the EBC. That's what will make we lose. Not I telling only what about it. If I can tell Fadi about it, who the hell is all here? And look, Fadi did the right thing and he great. I must say, hey, Fadi, I like how you operate there, you answer back, you let them know, you fix whatever it is the papers say. Very good. Very good. Did I mean that I don't want Fadi and them to win another PNM? No. I will criticize Fadi for you to do just that to make sure that the PNM never win there. And I will let the UNC councillors and some of them MPs, lazy MPs that only could hold on to Kamala Prasad Bisesa in order to say something. Without Kamala Prasad Bisesa, some of them there is nothing. Just like the five. Anita Haynes and this one and that one. All of them just only hold on. And when they realize what time it is, what they go do? Just bat up the woman, bat up the party, and rather we lost. Who vex? Lost. Hey, we continue this voice notes.
You promised to play Fali's, should I say, adjustment? Yeah, or rebuttal, yes.
We go play that. We go play that for sure. Let me play my partner here, Vernon, voice note. Always, you know. I only hope you don't play by sending back no voice note neither, you know. Every time people talk UNC does that, you just send a voice note, Vernon, to tell people about the both of them ain't good. And boy, hey, is that just like Democrats and Republicans? In Trinidad and Tobago, it will be either the UNC or the PNM. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Right. Let me come by the barber shop and trim it into your head, Vernon.
Hey, just to remind the good folks, we are on Gael TV at this time, so pleasant morning, of course. Blessed morning to our Caribbean brothers and sisters that are locked on. Guyana, good morning to you. Grenada, Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Nevis, good morning. Good morning. And those, of course, who are looking on right here in Trinidad and Tobago on Flow, Amplia, and, of course, Tigo. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, indeed. And those in North America and the UK. Well, Andy, let's hear Vernon. This is Vernon the barber. Make sure, please, Vernon, it has to be clean. Has to be clean.
Always clean. Let me hear him.
All right.
Reason why, morning people, and all one mightn't like to hear my reality. The reason why we in this problem is because of the UNC.
Vernon.
They shut down the
what boy?
They shut down the OPVs that guarding the borderline, guns and drugs free to come in. They shut down SWAT. Was marking police and practically anybody in criminal activities. And they shut down the radar system in Central. So if you have nobody to lock up the police, to bring evidence against the police, this is the results of shutting down SWAT. We'll be talking about the party favoritism. I vote for UNC on 3 occasions, 2 times under the by-election and the general election, plus for Jack Warner. But you see crap? When crap on the streets, I facing it. Not them lawyers, not them magistrates, not them politicians. It's a man on the streets feeling it. Anytime anything happens to any of them up there, look how fast I find it. find everything. When the man on the street, is a long delay. So all on a back party, and I'm not backing no party unless you're doing the right thing. And as long as you're doing crap, I'm against crap. And right now, Rowdy on a real crap. And I against that. So anybody in parliament who figure that they go sit down and scratch the Rudy poo, I against that. When Rowdy talk about 4% for the citizens, 38% for them, what Kamala say? Nothing. Kamala supposed to come out and tell the people what they're supposed to get, what they deserve. Nobody in the parliament say nothing but what the people supposed to get. We ain't supposed to have a union in this country. This country too small to have a union. A union supposed to be only if a man lost work on our grounds to fight for him. But we don't need no union here. We have too much money here. The amount of money we have here, this country could run so smooth. But here going on corruption in the parliament. Everybody in the parliament there under the same ground. None of them looking to defend the man on the street. None. And I'm out.
Quite interesting. Quite interesting. He made quite some statements about union and whatever. But Mrs. Prasad Bissessa did say 10%. She did say 10%. If you go and check on the Observer with the first Vice President Felicia Thomas on the Observer, she said that is why the PSA is backing Kamala Prasad Bissessa, because at least she made it quite clear it's 10%. So she did make it clear, Vernon. And secondly, yes, you do need unions. You do need unions, but you need unions with spines and backbone and with some teeth and with some oomph. And this government is not a union-friendly government, Vernon. As a matter of fact, they view unions as liabilities rather than assets in the interests of the workers. So they look at them as total, liabilities. That's why they have to get them out of Petrotrin. And whoever is buying these things like TSTT and all of these things that are up for sale are basically waiting to see what happens after the bell rings. Right. They do not have you. They want the unions away from that. It's a lot more attractive to sell them without unions. So there you have it.
Nice. Let's continue. Oh boy, oh boy.
Yes, friends of the Ground Report. Tell me what all you did with the rice and the oil the brother, the MP for Haryana State, sent for me. 25 tons of basmati rice, 20 tons of parboiled rice, 5 tons of...
What are you talking about, Lennox? But let me continue there. But like somebody going with a whole container of rice or something?
No, remember when he went India, Prime Minister, he met with a conglomerate of business persons who made a commitment of rice and oil to be sent to Trinidad. We have, since he came back, we have not heard whether it arrived or not. And I suppose that is what he's talking about.
Oh, it's how hungry people is. Then remember that they're supposed to get parboiled rice, basmati rice, oil, and people waiting for that hope that Rowdy get them. Yes, I went in there. They're gonna get feed, rice. But I don't know. Like Rowdy them eat the rice themselves or they sell over the rice that was given to them. Something I'm telling you, let me finish the voice note, say quick. And then because people really ringing wanna call. And then I know my economist friend, lady friend, she and all was calling earlier on. So let me just finish these voice notes. They quick. Right. Tell me about the rice. I wonder if I finish here, boy. There's him here.
Ordinary rice.
All right, let me hear about this rice.
Good morning, Ground Report. Yes, friends of the Ground Report. Tell me what all you did with the rice and the oil the brother, the MP for Haryana State, sent for me. 25 tons of basmati rice, 20 tons of parboiled rice, 5 tons of ordinary rice, steam rice that is, and a container of cooking oil. The brother from Haryana State, Navin Jindal, sent that for me. What all they did with that Ground Report? All they saving it for the UNC friends? Thank you.
All right, let me forget he, yes?
No, well, he is being facetious. That's all. You know, yeah. I don't think he is serious. That he means us. He's talking about the government. Clearly.
All right. Let me play the next one.
Hey, Andy, in the World War II, I believe, World War II, America had an election. So no World War could stop an election. You want to vote on the people, you could vote on the people. So don't let all this fool nobody say, well, they could hold up election. I don't know what people are guy talking about. Oh, he could call. You go to the people council when you with that on the court. He talking about this to stop an election. You guys stupid or what? Later.
Prime Minister seat as always out of the country. They give our next Jacka the Prime Minister seat. From City Rasta, who do nothing for the country and who do nothing for the security service in the country, and they give him up the Prime Minister. One Jackass gone and one Jackass.
Anna, right? Again, we the Galawa, we're not going down that road. Your voice note can be played. Next.
Andy, morning again. Run, boy. Run for your life, boy. Run. Miss Santa Cruz coming for you. She coming with a bull boy to crack some in your back. Run! You talk about the UNC, boy. When I talk about the UNC, you're questioning me, you're asking me all kind of thing. I just didn't put it in your words that you like. But we are trees. And I put it in the Trini language. Run for your backside. And the Pitbull Williams, Santa Cruz coming for you.
Oh boy.
Sir, let me click
Boy, there's like a horror movie there, boy. She's coming for you. You can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah.
Coming for you. When I get a chance, I wanna read something when you give me a chance. Go ahead.
They demonstrate the versatility of the presenters. It moves from entertainment to serious.
If anybody comes,
narration.
I want to you go read where to read and think, Papa.
Hey, the interesting thing here. I don't know if these fellas, again, 1,000 writers in Hollywood can't come up with this. Mitchell, who is the tourism minister, is telling citizens travel abroad to see how sweet it is in Trinidad and Tobago. The tourism minister is encouraging members of the public to travel outside of TNT for a greater appreciation of how good they have it in this country. He was speaking in the Senate yesterday, and Randall Mitchell said he took note of the opposition's attempt to peddle the narrative that citizens cannot afford the price of goods and services in this country. However, Mitchell told the upper house that it is only when citizens leave this country that they appreciate how good they have it here. He said you have to talk to those people on the outside who travel outside, or you have to travel yourself to the Caribbean or to Canada, the US or the UK. Travel and go and see in those countries what the high cost of living really looks like and feels like. Mitchell saying that, he said, listen, what's all you complaining about? You're talking about, you're complaining about you have no job. You're complaining you're on the breadline. You're complaining about high food prices. You're complaining about you can't send your children to school. You're complaining the fact that you can't afford transport. You're complaining because all your savings have been depleted. You're complaining because you have been knocked out of a middle class structure. What's the problem? If you think you have it bad here, jump on a plane, a boat, a ferry, whatever, and go and explore. That's where the government reach. If you don't like it here, go and see how other people suffering.
So he's just saying that?
No, and he's saying that these are democratic countries. But I thought he meant like Haiti or Afghanistan because, I mean, we're talking about, I mean, how could you, I mean, I don't want to add my logic to his nonsense, but what exactly are you saying that if you think it's bad here, travel. First of all, I could only get 50 US. That is all. How far going? Perhaps Tobago? We're talking about to leave here alone. You have to play games with the bank to get any foreign currency. Then you have a limit on your card. Who you know just traveling just like that, Mitchell? Unless it's some emergency, some funeral, something. You feel just so people can hop a plane like it's a skateboard or Uber or some maxi on the bus route?
Yeah,
what are you really talking about?
Rowley do.
Rowdy does that, yes. That comes with his job. That don't come with the rest of us. It don't come. We don't have 24-hour security service. We don't have health, still have health care and all of these things that we could go and travel for medical. No, we don't have that. They have that, and yes, they have that. But to have the audacity and to be so disconnected to make a statement like that in the Senate, to talk about if you think it's bad here, go other places. We don't live other places. We live right here. You cannot manage our affairs. You cannot do anything to elevate our lives. You give us no sense of hope, no sense of belonging, no sense of purpose. You give us nothing. And then you have the audacity to turn around and tell us, if you think it's bad here, go and check other places. Why you ain't go and check them other places? You live in there? Your salary coming from there? Your purse coming from there? But you here, jam. And you're going up in your ivory tower to look down on us, to tell us, if you think you're having bad down there, then you need to go somewhere else. But we don't have it here in the ivory towers. I mean, disrespect. And then they'll come and talk about this personality and that personality and Santa Cruz and this one and Andy is this and Maggie. Oh God, oh God. How much disrespect, boy? How much disrespect we go take? It reached that point that it says stop complaining. Go out there and see what really going on. I don't know. I don't. I just.
Well, my my take on this is that it is a statement not dissimilar to that of Colport and bicycle. But I would challenge the minister, if you can make it happen through your government, just open up the system and ask anyone if they wish to go to the United States or Canada, as the case may be, and see if Trinidad and Tobago will not be emptied. I mean, you're just not making sense. Because what you're saying is that here is better, that he's trying to say here is better than anywhere else in the world. But I will challenge him.
I don't understand that.
Get the visa for everybody. Get the visa for everybody who want it. And then open up the system and say, how many of you would like to go, the government will sponsor, to go to United States, Canada, and etc., and further afield, Europe, etc., and see what's going to happen to Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly, because the PNM leader, the Prime Minister, said that our problems are similar to that of Fairfax County in Virginia. They have the same size population. So you telling me if they open up and say who want to go to Fairfax County, because first of all, Fairfax County don't have no record 600 and something murders or heading to that. They don't have that. It are no dead babies in there NICU. They don't have that. It are no home invasion in Fairfax County. Similar size, similar population, but less police force, less officers on the police force. That's what he told us, you know. So who wouldn't want to leave here and go to Fairfax County with a family? Tell me. Tell me it have no home invasion there, right? Fairfax. Nobody ain't kicking down nobody's door, jumping through nobody's window in Fairfax County.
So that will be emptied. Right?
Exactly.
If you make it easy for them to go. Clearly, of course, he can't be talking about Somalia or Haiti. Clearly, because he must know that not even he wants to go there. But I'm sure he would love to go, he and his family, to go to United States, Canada, Europe, and so on, in order to stay away from this, of course, tragedy that his government has, of course, perpetrated on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So that is how Andy, that is that tribe.
Yeah. Andy, what do you have? You have voices, you have calls. Let the folks come on the inside, man. Good morning, good morning. What you have?
Yeah, it appears that these fellas are suffering from what is called
some calls.
Intellectual.
And let me take some calls.
Intellectual.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So the lines are open, Trinidad and Tobago, the numbers to call. Hold on one caller. Oh boy. Marpa. Go ahead, wait, hold 1 minute. For those of you that are now locked on and want the numbers to be a part of the #1 program, the Ground Report, call 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Or send us a WhatsApp voice notes, which will be played. Or give us a WhatsApp call at 366-3053, 366-3053. And those of you that are locked on to us on Guile the Caribbean, don't forget to put the country code 1868 to those numbers. Let's hear what's going on your part of the woods too. Go ahead, Barry Paul.
Subgranting is the PNM. Just like we get rid of the Columbus ship, we had to get rid of the PNM of history. Why? The same man do go and tell Rowley, hey, say that healthcare system real good. Why you leaving to go to and spend millions of taxpayers' dollars abroad for your healthcare? Why you don't stay right here and go Mount Hope, or go San Fernando, go Port of Spain, and do your checkup? You want to go outside and say that's so good? Why he don't come and say, hey, here what? We have a $60 billion budget every year, and then media review with the state and next $6 billion. Compare that per capita to any other country and find out how them other countries are spending their money and what development we have for it over here. That was which name? Randolph Mitchell. Yeah, that is the kind of thing with them need to tell the Prime Minister and tell the supporters who in nearly 9 months, 10 months, we already have nearly 550 people get murdered. We have 3 people missing, kidnapped, missing. One we find dead, one pay a ransom, and one. And your Prime Minister now come back from going for a medical checkup. Land in Trinidad, 3 high-profile kidnapping in the country. And he as the Minister of the National Security Council didn't say a word. He said jump in a plane and gone again. That's where Randy Mitchell, or Radha Mitchell, what's his name, to talk to the Prime Minister about. And not about outside better. You know that's the narrative. Well, all around the world have crime, all around the world have flooding, all around the world bad place. We living in Trinidad and Tobago. We have the resources to make Trinidad and Tobago better. We don't want to hear nothing about outside. Okay, well, if you want to hear about outside, why don't you go and talk about Guyana? Have a good morning, gentlemen. Later.
Thank you very much, caller. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So while we wait,
Who do we have?
We play some voice notes as I get the opportunities to.
All right, go ahead. Blend it in.
Yes.
Mikey, Andy, Lennox, long time I haven't given a little voice note, but
voice notes now, all the callers had the opportunity.
Going to the dogs. And you're right, we had to come out and we had to stand up and we had to fight. Because you see, Rowley take everything away from the Trinidadians and Tobagonians. He take hope, he take dreams, he take everything. And it's about time we get him out of power. It's about time. Right now, there are people fleeing the country because of crime. People want to kill you, you have to leave your house, your job, your everything. And just leave the country of love. But say what? 2025 coming out. Get rid of the PNM, only get rid of the PNM.
Morning, Andy. Andy for Gandhi. Andy and Michelle, Michelle. The guy is a natural clown. That guy is a natural clown and a medium. He talking. First, you need money to travel, you dummy. You're telling me what kind of travel is that? People who travel and come to America like myself, they have money, they could travel anywhere, they work in. Until you have a job, how you will travel? We travel for the San Fernando and see how pretty it is, how good or bad. Because you're strong like George Michael. You are strong and I'm dummy. PNM, don't listen to your people. You need to vote to get all the other power. And if I can't be later.
Lennox, even if you open up the country and give people visa to go, you can go to America. Remember,
Well, let him
Next,
do it.
next caller.
Let him do it, and let me see who could go and who can't go. Let him do it. Because we had to travel to see the difference, you know. It's no good here.
Well, I know I traveled to the United States in 1999 and 2000 and on several other occasions, including, of course, some South American trip and several meetings of the Inter-American Development Bank even in Colombia. So I have done the travels that I would like to. Of course, I don't plan to travel, and certainly I will not travel because he says so that I can't. No,
He would like for me to travel and
that
go
is telling.
so he could.
No, that is pandering to a fool.
No. I mean, if you listen carefully, what Mitchell is saying as well.
No, I'm talking about the glass collar. The glass collar.
Yeah, but he's echoing the sentiments. I mean, so you have to understand because Mitchell said, you know, he said that when you go out there and you experience the high cost of fuel, the high cost of utility, the high cost of transportation, and the high cost of accommodation, that is when you know how good we have it here in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah.
Hi, Mitchell. Dumb Mitchell. Caller, pleasant good morning to you. Welcome to the Gong Report. What's your contribution on the Gong Report this morning?
Good morning to Mr. Andy for Grandy for Andy, and Mr. Lennox and Mr. K, is it right? K?
Yeah, right. Yeah, Mikey K. Good morning.
Yeah. Hey, Andy, it's very interesting. Before I tell you about Fairfax, Virginia, it's very interesting. I heard you say who vex loss, right? I mean, you know, it's tough love and it's constructive criticism. But I know a couple of weeks ago, somebody tell me mind my business, and you guys concurred with me that listen, you know that the UNC registered voters are going to vote for the UNC. There's no question about it. But of course, that percentage and volume of voters would not be sufficient to cross the finish line, and we all concurred and agreed that you need other folks, right? I mean, you even need the independents or non-aligned people, right? The rest of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to get you across the finish line, right? But you know, you had a caller, and I'm surprised that you all didn't come to my defense here. Not that I need it, but he tell me mind my business. I'm in America. But tell me something, Andy. So the individuals in North America, in Europe, and wherever else in the world that you are born and bred in Trinidad, don't we have an interest too in what happens in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, you
I
do.
mean, after all, we have relatives here, and these relatives vote. And by the way, some who are permanent residents in other countries in the world, as far as I can recall, unless they stopped it, does Trinidad have overseas ballots where expatriates can vote? I think they could go to the respective overseas and vote, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so.
Right. But anyway, getting on here before I finish my point here, that so the caller said mind my business and you know and all that, but you know what? Maybe this eagle don't have any place in cockroach and fowl business, but guess what? We have relatives and we have friends who just vote too, right? So so just wanted to just to share that. Now, in relation to Fairfax, Virginia, here's what it is. Politically, they are aligned. In the sense that, right? And even though it's size and all that kind of thing, yeah, just go up and look up at the FBI statistics, right? The chances of becoming a victim of either a violent or property crime in Fairfax, Virginia is 1 in 42. And this is based on the FBI crime data. Fairfax is not one of the safest communities in America relative, you know, to other cities. As a matter of fact, Fairfax has a crime rate that is higher than 84% of the state of Virginia, cities and towns of all sizes. And as a matter of fact, as I traveled to another state recently, and there was a big, you know, event I was at, and they were welcoming everybody from all over. Here's what they said: we want to welcome we want to welcome all of you, those of you from, and he called different states, right? And he said, and those of you from California, and those of you from New York, and those of you also from Washington State and DC, we welcome you too, but we want to welcome also the rest of America. So just, say I'll share that with you, in relation to the situation. So that's what I share with Virginia, and this eagle is out, and maybe I should.
No, no. Before you go, you are correct about those stats. And yet still, no one has ever questioned Dr. Rowley on that. I mean, he made Fairfax County seem as though they were operating, fully efficient when it comes to dealing with their social issues and what have you. And no one, not even the man that he said that he sent to Fairfax County, ever confirmed that whether he went or not. And that in itself, to me, that says a lot. Because Mr. Hines has never one day posted anything, whether it be on his Facebook, that he likes to, of course, put these narratives, these stories. He didn't post anything, not even a picture with him posing with the K9 squad of the Fairfax County Police, nothing at all. So that always, it rings out there, and it tells you a lot. It really tells you a lot.
Yeah, I could go even one better with that. And since there's no evidence that he went, but even say if he went, right? Guess what?
Yeah.
What is happening with the Bacchanal happening in the PNM right now? As I said, it is straight out of the Democratic Party playbook, because the average person, even in Fairfax County, Democrats, and by the way, Virginia is a blue state, blue state, and yet they elected not only a Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin, but a Caribbean sister, Marine, or once a Marine, always a Marine, from Jamaica, right, as lieutenant governor, right? And look at that. And they are entirely blue state. Fairfax, totally going Democrat all the way, right? So that just goes to show you. But what Rowley did, is that he took it out of the playbook from the Democrats too. So when he's saying that they're comparative, maybe comparative, yeah, in the size and the demographics, but also in the politics.
Population. Yeah.
The average Democrat didn't have an opportunity to say whether this woman, who black people didn't even vote for when she ran for president, right? They just anoint her and put her in. Okay? So, but again, I digress. I don't want to make it a Democrat Republican thing. We all
thanks, appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, my brother.
And you see, gentlemen, that's the truth about Fairfax. If you go and you look it up, why did he even say that? And up to this day, Hines has never confirmed. You have to understand, we have reached a record amount of murders in this country. And we were told prior to that there would be a system, a policy that is going to be formatted based on how Fairfax County in Virginia runs and operates. Understand that? None of that was put in place. So is it that they lied to us? Who's on the outside?
Well, it is clear, gentlemen, that Rowley brought... You have a caller? Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah.
Caller, go ahead.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Mikey. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead, our economist friend. Go ahead.
I find it uniquely interesting that Brandon Mitchell will make a call for persons to travel outside. Let's forget the politics of it for one moment of it, because what he wants us to do is to start comparing us to countries that may not have experienced what we experienced when Kamala Persad-Bissessar was in power. The issue is they do not want us to compare our lifestyle today to where we were when we were once considered the Miami of the Caribbean, where our lifestyle was way a countrywide concern. But let's put aside that for the moment, just for one moment. Which bank
Yeah, which bank?
I'm sure that's a WhatsApp call, of course.
Yeah, and the cutting.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Who do we have on here?
I want to conclude it for her by simply saying that she might have concluded that he said it because he had nothing to say. So he came up with that. And as far as the Fairfax County is concerned, the reality is that comparatively speaking, it is much better off than Trinidad and Tobago. And why is Dr. Rowley would have brought it into the political equation to, of course, look at crime and criminality in particular and the quality of life and the standard of living. The fact of the matter is that with the imposition of Dr. Rowley from 2015, the situation in Trinidad and Tobago on all statistics and all factors and all indices have deteriorated considerably. So therefore, it was an asinine proposition in the first place and merely a mechanism to get into government, as we have seen over the 9 years so far that he has been in government. There's plenty talk, but a little action. As the old people would say, an ounce of action is always better than a pound of talk. And boy, oh boy, Rowley and they have real talk.
God, as we have your back, go ahead.
Yes, I don't know what happened there. But which bank giving you US dollars to travel? You could barely get 200 US dollars walking. And can $200, what he wants us to go outside for one day? The cost of a hotel room outside there, even in the Caribbean, is over 100 US a night. What we supposed to do? Go out there one day and come back in? It is such a piece of nonsensical statement, and it is reflective of the government. We hardly have US in this country. The banks squeeze in small businesses, and you come in to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago to go and travel outside to see the goodness of Trinidad. What nonsense I just be hearing from these people, boy. And I trust that our people are wising up to the duplicity and the fork tongue of these persons in power and do the right thing for their life and the lives of their children when the time comes. And it will soon be upon us. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for giving me a moment to share on these statements that come out there from the mouths of who we consider and persons consider leaders in this country. So thank you very much.
So again, having nothing to say, he said that. Full stop. Had nothing to say, I'd say that nonsense. So thank you very much, of course, for the confirmation and for the endorsement. But that is what we have as purported to be ministers. Good morning.
You have a caller? Good caller.
Good morning.
Morning, Tobago.
Good morning.
Lennox, mighty candy pitbull. Well, I want to tell left uncle thanks to all your boy. But told you, we are no voice. Now, what I would like to say to the ground report is that I can't wait for the bell to ring, go to the EBC, and when we go there, we must be like swarm. We must be like a swarm of bees. So I hope that Trinidad and Tobago will come to the senses that if they do have enough pain and they want more, that PNM will come in power again to put more pressure on we, find themselves by the EBC. That's the only way we could be successful. So I only waiting for that bell to ring and for we to find myself in Port of Spain, right? And I want to say I with the ground report for the past 12 years, and I always saw them in their needs. I call for everything, and I give my life out for them, and I still will do that 100%. So I hope people would understand that when you're supplying something stand for good reason, that is what I mean. So come out in all the large numbers when that bell ring. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I tell you that guy you call and talk about America, the guy that called Kentucky is a red state and I have a Democrat governor, you know me. So we try to compare you as an idiot.
Yeah, good morning to my brother Mikey K, man. Big up to you, brother. Here now, Mikey. Andy just laugh when I tell you about Donna Cox, but here now, find a PNM person for Andy. Mikey, you remember Miss Sindhu, the lady with us be hounding for the PNM? Well, I want to say that Mike Lennox, Mikey, Andy, that's a nice one for Mikey, you know. For for Andy. If Andy play card straight, he might get a seat in the PNM.
Hi, morning, guys. You know something? I was looking at the garbage truck this morning when it was passing, and I was looking at these guys who were just running, picking up the garbage bags and the bags with garbage, as you should say, and just flinging it on the rubbish truck. And I was wondering if anybody could sponsor 22 garbage bags for me to put all them PNM MPs in, all, so that the garbage collectors could pick up the 22 bags with the MPs and fling them on the garbage truck and take them straight to the labas. Maybe if that could happen, then we will be able to have some peace and we could look to start cleaning up this country. You understand? And when we finish with the 22 of them, we could get more bags to put all, all, all them PNM in, fling them in the garbage truck, and repeat the performance straight to the labas. That is the way we will get the opportunity to save and rescue Trinidad and Tobago. Are fed up, are fed up, are fed up of all of them in the PNM who destroying this country day after day. Yesterday I watched that here in Ireland, and I have come to the conclusion we in Trinidad, we are just left to the mercy of the criminals. We have no police in this country to deal with crime. Yes, they will deal with the tint. They will deal if you break at the light, if you park on the wrong side of the road. Yes, we have police for that. But when it comes to the serious critical matters of people who dying and getting killed every day, guess what? Trinidad didn't have no police. All you who voting for PNM, continue destroying this country. Continue destroying the country. All the ones who know better, all you know what they had to do, right? And let me start by getting the garbage bag and flinging all of them and carry them to the labas. That is the only solution I see for these, look now, for these PNM. Blessings, guys.
Randall Mitchell, let me tell you something. You talk about, you want to compare other countries to here? Like telling you about prison in America for hardcore criminals. We're going to build one for all you in TNT, just like them one. Hardcore. You can't.
Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. Where you calling from? Where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Morning, Lennox and everybody else here. Apache here. Now, a simple question.
Apache, where you calling from?
The officer who got New York here, right on the president. We will be in France.
Okay.
Question to you. Has the commissioner of police or the minister of national security or any senior members had visited that WPC who got shot over the past couple of days? Has any one of them had paid her a visit to show her they care about her, they care about their underlings? And any one of these ministers or bigwig in the Ministry of National Security had visited her? No. I'm curious about that. And the next thing is this: why it is now? I'm not trying to lambast the general hospital. There are good doctors and there are good nurses. There are good ward attendants. There are a lot of good people in Trinidad. Only very few bad ones that give you a bad image. Why it is they couldn't send that WPC and other police officers and also law enforcement like army men, coast guard men, and all these kind of prisons and things? Why they don't send them or take them to one of the upper class clinic, or how should I say, hospital, private hospital like West Shore? Why do not send them there to get real top treatment? That it bothers me a lot. It just goes to show you they don't care. They don't care about even the officer working 24 hours a day. They don't care about them. This is the problem I have with these upper class, neo-fascist PNM members. And I go say the next thing again. Look at it this way. Faris Alwari, Stuart Young, the Attorney General, and others. They're holding it, some of them, or not some, majority of the biggest position in PNM is controlled and run by these 1%ers and them. What happened? It had no little black boy and no little Indian boy or girl that could hold their position. I'm just asking a question. I wonder about these things. Why until you have to give these people? So sometimes that'll be good, and I mean not good, but sometimes you have to reflect and look at it. You know, for some of these PNM supporters, look at Petrochem. You might say, and I'm not closing on Petrochem. Majority of the workers at Petrochem are Afro-Trinis, and all of them get fired a couple of years ago, and they still went back and vote for PNM. From what I understand, I could be wrong. I'm not one, 2 or 3 of them even commit suicide because they have bills to pay, they have children to pay, and yet they go back and same thing over and over. You cannot be doing the same thing over and over. Expect a blessed day and be safe out there.
Nice. Next. Oh boy.
Interesting.
Very.
You have more?
The PNM's cult message for decades. Ignore our exploitation of TNT's natural resources and don't be bothered by corruption and neglect of duty to citizens. As our nation falls deeper into poverty, unemployment, and crime, the PNM cult tells their base it's happening all over the world, Jed, and we still have things better than many out there. The problem with that narrative is that we're comparing ourselves to other corrupt nations and those which aren't rich with natural resources such as oil and gas. We are also deflecting from the reality that it's only a matter of time before TNT's economy ends up far worse than any of the nations PNMites may be highlighting, as long as PNM remains in office.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Good morning, caller. Where are you calling from, and what's your contribution on the Ground Report this morning?
Morning, Mr. Andy, my brother Malcolm X here. Good morning to Lennox Smith, and good morning to Mikey K.
Morning, my brother. Morning.
My brothers are talking to all Trinidadians and especially PNM people who watched the news last night on TV6. Wayne was making a contribution as the opposition, letting us know about some deal with the oil company and family and corruption. Randolph Mitchell actually changing the topic and start to talk a set of stupidness about PNM and Hanover Canal. And I see they bring in a Johnny come lately, a young boy from Tobago. Why are you talking this with the PNM people? He is part of them will vote out PNM from Tobago. Now like they gave here a suit, like when Massa gave the slave and then they wear old suit. He come talking about PNM and Hanover Canal and Rowley have integrity. Which part of the earth this young boy come from? And like they say, he now swearing and it's the first time he gets to talk. PNM always have bacchanal because they never tell you the truth of the death of Eric Williams. They never tell you how they sabotage Chambers. They never tell you, and then your leader where you're boasting that have integrity. And if you hear the man last night on the TV trying to move the topic from the corruption with taxpayers' money, and we ain't getting nothing or citizens of this country, and you telling me we have integrity and it had this, and if you hear them people clapping and going on, and you saying PNM and Bacchanal, so we go on with Rowley and Patrick Manning when Manning had to fire him. That wasn't Bacchanal. Randolph Mitchell, you getting big and fat. You was in AGC, but you ain't doing nothing. You give it the land. You give it the land, all your French Creole, you give it the land with the pan people and them had on the highway in Orange Grove. But all you want to talk, are telling Trinidadian PNM get hijacked. All you open all your eyes and see PNM right now get hijacked. Why you think they don't want Beckers? No way. All you watch and see. Watch and see who is the people. And now all you bring this little Johnny come lately from Tobago to play he talking and clapping and fighting down the truth. Listen, God don't like ugliness. And this thing getting overbearing in Trinidad and Tobago. No? We want to know where Wayne Mark was talking, what's really going on with the oil company. This is the thing we want to know about we money. We want to know when we get in the boat and them. In boat, you can't be telling people, fix old police car and fix old car because they buy a new one. But you ain't saying fix the vessel and them for the borders. Trinidadian PNM people are telling all it and nobody can talk PNM like Malcolm X. If I tell all you who is PNM with me, all you will believe who know me will know about PNM where Malcolm X is concerned. And I'm telling all you right now, get rid of these people and them who saying they PNM. All you vote them out. Vote for Camilla. And no one telling you vote for Dr. Rat, vote for Dulcedi, vote for anybody. Get rid of this government with selling we both right, you know. All you have a nice day who can hear go feel, you know. All right.
Wow, wow. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Any thoughts on any you all gentlemen have any thoughts? Anything that you all would want to bring to the table by the meanwhile?
Well, all I want to ask is that, you know, according to what is said by Mr. Mitchell, Randall Mitchell, that we should be appreciative of what we have. I just want to know, what should we appreciate? Home invasions, murders, kidnappings, extortion, property tax, high electricity rates. What should we appreciate? High food costs? If he can outline what we need to appreciate, the fact that we had to change our whole life around, our own personal security, you know, the fact that we have no money in our savings, the fact that we're on the breadline, what do we need to appreciate? He should have outlined that in the Senate. Just don't say we should be appreciated at the fact that we live here and we don't live there. Tell us what we have here that we should appreciate. Tell us what that things mentioned in the budget that no money is allotted as far as allocated to, but $10 million to the EBC, and you can't tell us why? What do we need to be appreciative of? Let us know. People jumping through your window, they're sexually violating you in front of your family, they're doing all kinds of things. And let me tell you something, this is not hearsay. There are senior citizens in this country that are paying tax. They are paying coward tax. Many of these home invasions are not being reported because these senior citizens that are now deemed to be soft targets are very intimidated. They are very scared for their lives. So when they get a little money at the end of the month, somebody is coming to check them. It's like David written down. Come, Miss Mabel. Let me get what is mine. And that is how some of them are living. The most... I mean, come on, man. These are people in the twilight years. That tells you a lot, boy. It tells you a lot. How our government treats its senior citizen, it really tells you a lot. The fact that a man can just jump on a plane because every time you see a plane fly, he needs to be in it. You have a flight to banker and talk about who is going to succeed him and so forth. And the needs of the people are not even highlighted. Senior citizens and the Lennox and the viewers, most of them are not reporting these home invasions. And every month now, they are paying tax to these criminals. Every month. My gosh.
But gentlemen, is a clear case of a chronic or acute bout of cacophonous babblings. That is what I see that to be. He had nothing to say. He was very vacuous and therefore had to say something, and he said it. And of course, the population must now evaluate as to the quality of persons that Rowley has chosen to be ministers and decision makers for and on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago. They have failed over and over and over, and that is another exhibition of the level of failure and curse.
Come to the head of the class, Lennox.
Yes, indeed.
Come to the head of the class, Lennox. You are so he had nothing to say. Absolutely nothing. He couldn't stand up there and talk about anything that they implemented, any policy to help the people. So here what? Imagine your crying, your pleas is becoming a nagging on them. They tired hearing you beg and cry and crying out for things. So they say, look, if you don't like it here, go somewhere else. Who you have, Andy? Who's on the outside?
And it's not for the first time.
That's what they're saying there. That's exactly what they're saying there. Morning.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Morning, caller.
Caller, go ahead. All right. Oh boy. The lines are open here, Trinidad and Tobago. While we just get this back in order here, the lines are open. The numbers to call 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Or give us a WhatsApp call. Or send us a WhatsApp voice note at 366-3053, 366-3053. The lines are open.
Well, I see, gentlemen, that Robinson Regis has said that the PNM leadership, there is no chaos therein. Of course, when they tell you to walk, well, you know you have to stand up, and when they tell you to close your, you know you have to open it wide. Because clearly the fact that she can make that statement, it tells you what is happening.
Exactly.
Police woman, 30, hospitalized after early morning shooting outside a home in Caroni. Of course, that is the police woman that has found herself in that situation when she came from the airport and is in critical condition. And the caller asked the question whether or not the minister and or the commissioner paid a visit. From the information we have, and we would have known because they would have they would use it as a photo op and an opportunity, of course, to engage the press. So we have no news on that, people. So we can safely say that did not happen.
Someone there? Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, continue a little bit there, Lennox.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's good. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I know the same fella sent when all was somewhere a pre-action protocol letter.
Yeah. It was a pre-action protocol letter. He made history. Yeah, he sent a pre-action protocol letter.
It seems as though he always making history for dotishness.
Yeah,
for dotishness. A total buffoon.
Andy.
Oh, go ahead.
Andy.
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, boy, I checked Cyrus and he said to tell you, thanks for sending me.
Yes. So anyone of you all again, Cyrus who take care of all virus, want to make sure go get Cyrus a vibes, get Cyrus a vibes.
Virus, man.
Yes. Good man. Right. Very good man. Cyrus, a pleasant good morning to you. And again, y'all, let me make sure to put that day one time. That is Cyrus Day. Yes. So let me make sure give Cyrus a call, eh? Yeah, man. Let me give you the number for Cyrus.
Yeah, Cyrus. Good man. Good to hear you, Cyrus.
81. Why the glasses like getting so hot? It good enough, but it real small, boy. But all is Cyrus, right? Yes, he takes care of all virus removal, Windows updates. Yeah, boy. Hardware upgrade. Computer parts, new computer and laptops and all these various things. Yeah, I had to do that for that man. That man always stand up on the behalf of the ground report. Whether it's Mikey, whether it's Lennox Smith, whether it's the Pitbull, that man they stand up.
Yeah. I can vouch for that.
So whatever you need, all your computer needs, please check out Cyrus. Yeah. Cyrus located, of course, right here in the east-west corridor. Check him out up here. And you've got to get a lot of whatever supplies you need to get, you can get it. Give them the number once again, Andy. Check out Cyrus. he is a good friend of the ground report.
Yeah, man, the man cool.
Give me numbers.
Let me get them Cyrus there. Oh boy, but Lennox, by the meanwhile, you are glad that you asked the question such as let me get them Cyrus number there one time. Or you could call Cyrus at 681-8762. 681-8762. Right again. Cyrus 681-8762. Yes, Lennox, go ahead. To my recollection too, Lennox Smith, Michael K. Well, Mighty K. No Hines, no National Security Council leader Rowley because he out of the country. No acting disrespectful prime minister. No police commission. Nobody in check that police woman that gets shot.
Well, that's very unfortunate. In the meantime, of course, another school was traumatized. Shots heard at San Juan North Secondary School. Of course, you know, last week or earlier this week, we had a situation with Southeast government right on Nelson Street there. And of course, there is contemplation. There's a school of thought that say they should move the entire school altogether. Some are saying, and of course there is an argument as well, that of course the community has become the enemy of the school. And so of course that's another tragic scenario that is taking place. But then again, it's not just there, because we have now in San Juan North Secondary gunshots, and you know, of course, the most infamous one, if you want to call it that, is Rose Hill government, where of course, as Hines said, that the shots were so far away that the teachers exaggerated in asking the children to go below the desks and chairs and so on in order to protect themselves. That is the level of asinine specimen of inhumanity. I can't associate humanity with these fellas that we have as Minister of National Security. But go ahead, my friend.
Go ahead, call a pleasant good morning to you. Where are you calling from, and what's your contribution to the #1 program, the Ground Report, this morning? Right here on Dial that and on Real Media TT. Good morning.
Good morning, Mikey. This is Canada. Andy, what I want to say, all these things started since Dr. Eric William days. All the racism, divide and rule, started from William days. The amount of money that Trinidad had, because I'm almost 78 years old, so I know exactly what time we get independence. You know, all the amount of money Trinidad had, and the money went here, there, and everywhere. Everybody thief, private thief, O'Halloran thief, everybody thief, Mahabir thief, everybody thief. You see? And William never divided the money among the people. I can remember one time in a budget debate, we had a radio, those days, that TV. And he said that if they give every man, woman, and child $1 million each, they'll still have money in the treasury to run the country for 5 years. You see? So everybody thief. William thief too, the Indian thief. Because his daughter was a multimillionaire. You know? So I mean, I'll be 78 years this year, and I know everything, because I know when they got independence, I wasn't, you know, I was there for a long time, and before they got independence, all these things. Because I was born in 1946. You see? And today's a day that the poor people have to suffer. You know, the poor people have to suffer. You know why? Because they vote PNM, we will make your life better. Vote PNM, we will make your life better. Because that was William's mantra. Vote for me, I'll make your life better. After election, it became worse. You remember when he brought the voting machine? What went on? Some constituency had more votes than what was registered in constituency when they tally votes. You know? So in this way, everybody thief, everybody doing what they want to do. Look at Imbadan. Money missing. That is people money. That is people money. They can't give account when the money gone. You cannot give account when the billions of dollars gone. You know? But these guys are smart. They send the money to the Swiss bank. They send the money to Panama, where there's no extradition or there's no thing like the banks will say yes, they have this amount of money here. No. And that is what is going on. You think him a thief? You think Rowley a thief? Everybody thief. Look at Paris. They would have billion he have. Eh? They would have rent that he paid. That he get from the government. That he get from the government. That money can be used to give the poor people. But you see, election time, they use this one thing, race. And race is a dangerous thing. Look at me. I'll send a clip in the news for you. They look up 3 prime minister and president for corruption and fraud. 3 of them. One from Peru, one from Albania,
Yeah. But caller, with great due respect, we don't know who thief. I want to make that absolutely clear. The ground report has no proof of that. We don't know who thief. Again, we cannot jeopardize this program in any form or fashion. We are still governed by TAC rules, whether we like it or not. Hold on, whether we like it or not. Because I don't want to deal with the aftermath. That if anything goes wrong, then it should have, it could have, and that is what we should have done. I want to be very proactive about this and not go down this road again. Please, if you're making your contribution, be responsible in whatever it is that you are saying. We, the ground report, do not have proof of that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, say, what difference does it make for Trinidad that they can't look up these politicians?
Nice. And for alleged corruption is thief. So they're going to say, well, alleged corruption with Hines, alleged corruption with this one, alleged corruption with that one.
We have a lot of those, and we could connect the dots.
Yeah.
We can connect the dots. But outright say we are not the TTPS. We don't do the job of the TTPS. We don't get ULA salary and resources. We don't get that. We are a platform. Again, we are a talk show, but we are not a talk shop. So please act responsibly. Who's on the outside?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, the lines are open. Let's get some of your voice notes. Let's get some of your calls, some of your thoughts. Where you at? Where your head at? What's supposed to make news that not making news? What the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean supposed to know that's going on that they don't, and you believe they need to? The line's open to you, man. Morning, caller.
Morning, my chicken. Andy, you hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing you loud and clear.
Andy, you put pressure hands a few minutes in national security to run the country. And you can't solve nothing in the country by what going on in the country, right? This woman get shoot, a policeman get shot on him, and this is what going on in the country. Andy, something wrong in this country now because they put it's 22 garages in Parliament. According to you, put them in a garbage bag and throw them in the rubbish truck, but because they do nothing for the country. Or they call the election and road only flying here and there and find the oil field. Petroleum belong to Rowley, or you want to say petroleum belong to Rowley? Eh? You want to say something about them not be you? You telling something about not belong to you, and people going to say, I something wrong with it, pay them, just pay them, my tell them, they're like me, eh? Or they destroy the country and all the people going in the country, or they march up the country, eh? Or the common man, or the go to the rising sun, right? Or every morning get up, or the sun rising, or the start drinking black coffee. Don't drink nice coffee, so white people, or they start drinking black coffee, eh? Those many coffee, get up and drink black coffee every morning, and go and pray to the rising sun. They're the only solution we have in this country. This country, and they have a blessing and papa, and they are begging for help in the boardhouse. I'm still begging for help in the boardhouse, right? Send to 1418 my number. Have a blessed day, my brother. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, Mikey, what else is going on in Trinidad and Tobago?
There is nothing
that we have to highlight and bring to the people.
There is nothing.
Yeah, I know Lennox wanted to make good, Lennox.
Yeah,
quickly.
there's a continuing disconcertedness and skepticism about the efficaciousness of this government. Independent Senator, of course, Suniti Maharaj is the latest addendum to this malaise that has engulfed Trinidad and Tobago, because she said no dollar in budget for border patrol. And then, of course, she went into, of course, the details as to why she made the statement. And it says, of course, Independent Senator Suniti Maharaj took the government to task. That is not very often. It's not very often that happens on October 21st, saying there was nothing in the budget to address border control, which she said should be its priority if it wants to tackle crime. Very, very strong statement indeed by an independent senator. A good vesticular fortitude, frankly. What we are is an island, she continues, given the crimes that we have and the inflow of guns, human trafficking, where we need to deploy our services. Most is on the coast, and the Coast Guard is the smallest unit of our protective and defense apparatus. Mirage was contributing, of course, to the debate for the 2025 budget. Of course, she said that the attitude towards border patrol was inherited from colonial styles of governance, which always had a frigate or another large vessel patrolling the oceans of the region. But times have changed, clearly, because you still have, of course, I think it was the same upstart in the parliament, a total neophyte, and of course his presentation demonstrated that. Talk about Ansel Douglas. So when, of course, Ansel
Dennis.
Douglas? Dennis, yes. Ansel Dennis.
Dennis.
Yes.
Dennis, yes.
He said in all certain terms that they're bringing back up the OPVs, etc. Well, here it is, she's decrying that, because you don't, what you need is the 360 degrees maritime wall that the UNC had instituted by purchasing those 12 or so Damien vessels that could be more than adequate. The problem here is that this government, whether deliberately, inadvertently, or myopically, did not service them. And now, of course, the minister is telling us, yes, there is a border issue. We have a very porous border. We have, of course, unofficial ports of entry all around the islands, plural here. And of course, just about 2 vessels are being repaired, one here in Trinidad, another one somewhere in Suriname, and all those excuses. And guess what? That is now happening after 9 years. 9 years, people, and the amount of guns that people are using now, people are just, for style it appears, when police go on the scene, you get, of course, 12 and 25 spent shells. I mean, because the ammunition is plentiful, and as a consequence, you can afford, of course, to use it with a high degree of recklessness, and the situation continues. But the important thing is that our independent senator is now, of course, expressing her concern again, a serious indictment on this administration as to its delinquency, as to its incompetence, and his prioritization is one that leaves much to be desired. Yeah.
So true indeed. Andy, what do you have? You have folks on the outside waiting to get in?
Oh boy. Oh, well, I was listening to Lennox Smith there, breakdown on that there. It have voice, but they don't have enough yet.
He also spoke about, well, of course, he mentioned Ansel Dennis. Yes. When he made his, of course, his contribution, his maiden contribution to the budget debate, he criticized, according to the news report, he criticized the opposition United National Congress for being an obstruction to the country's progress. He said Tobago's tourism sector would have been significantly transformed with Sandals, a Marriott hotel, the new marina, and the new airport terminal. The Sandals resort, he said, would have required thousands of eggs and produce, and agriculture would have benefited significantly. in both Tobago and Trinidad. Sandals would have created linkages between Tobago and other international destinations. First of all, there's always an egg shortage in Tobago, so I don't know if they're gonna keep up the supply. I guess he's saying that Trinidad would have stepped in. He said agriculture would have benefited significantly in both Tobago and Trinidad. Well, in Tobago, they don't have access roads, they don't have bridge. A lot of the infrastructure is not there for the farmers in Tobago. Ansel, and you were there, Ansel. Did you do anything for the agriculture sector in Tobago, Ansel? There are many farmers who can't get access to their land, Ansel, and other complications as well. Okay. And he said, but we shelved that. And you know what we have in Tobago now, Mr. President? You know what the big investment in Tobago is? Apart from the Marriott that the central government brought, double palm, he said. All right, Ansel, do you have an obsession with double palm? Is it that you know of the activities that take place in double palm? Are you upset that somebody's business module that is successfully in Trinidad has now reached to Tobago? Perhaps you should have asked the person who owns the double palm to help you with a business plan because you were there, Ansel. So what are you talking about? So you came out yesterday believing that you were firing from all angles because you wanted to impress your leader, you wanted to make a statement, but where in your contribution did you put anything out there that is to benefit the people of Tobago? Where? Where did you go there and stand as a son of Tobago and highlighted the fact that Tobago is being mistreated, Tobago is being treated like a bad stepchild, Tobago is not getting its resources? Who did you go there to represent, Ansel? The people of Tobago? Or you was just happy to get a little walk in the Senate? Come on.
because
all that you said and nothing is the same thing.
Yeah, because somebody defaulted Lizama, and he happened to get an opportunity after almost 10 years. And now he reminds me of Farmer Oak Dog. That novel of Far From the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, when of course the younger of the two sheepdog run all of his investment in sheep, the whole herd, off a cliff. And then the dog came now and wagging his tail and looking for a bone. Yeah. Well, of course, Farmer Oak had his shotgun on him, and you know what the rest was. Well, he sounds much like that.
Big and bad. Yeah, big and bad all of a sudden. Andy, what do you have there?
He did his work.
We don't want to leave anybody out. Anybody?
He did his work so well that he had to be destroyed. So that's the.
All right. Give them the numbers. Give them the numbers, please. Give them the numbers. Come on, people. We are in our last hour here of.
Remember, I had to blast out to people. Yeah, so I was blasting out by the meanwhile, but the numbers to call Trinidad and Tobago while I don't do that. So while multitasking, I could give my undivided attention at this point in time. Hey, Walia, the numbers to call 225-6644. 225-6644 or 235-5120. 239, in fact, 5120. Or send us a WhatsApp voice note. Or give us a WhatsApp call at 366-3053. What's on your front burner? This is the Ground Report program.
And of course,
what's supposed to make news that not making news? Come on, let us know. Give us that call, send that voice note. You're saying something, Lennox?
Yeah, I'm saying that until Dennis continues to demonstrate that bipolarism of this government, they seem to be contradicting themselves on every stage, on every opportunity. Because here it is, he says that the UNC was voted out because of the way how they treated Tobago, but of course failing to say why he was voted out from Tobago itself and the PNM. And then of course he made the phantasmagorical claim about Sandals. Well, it was the people who said, the people of Tobago who said that they didn't want that particular venture to be nestled in Tobago. And I hope that the Tobago people are listening, because he's regurgitating that nonsense, where, of course, you have already made a decision upon, you have pronounced upon, you have adjudicated upon, and here it is, he brings back that because probably he just wants to talk and probably parrot what Rowley would have liked him to say. But the fact of the matter is that the people of Tobago said no sandals, and that was it. To what extent you want to blame the UNC? Well, they weren't in power, and of course he was claiming that because the central government now under Rowley is treating Tobago better. Well, I wonder why the vote is still out. And of course jettison to be the PNM out of Tobago all entirely, and that will be reflected again, I'm sure, in the next general election. So it was an exercise in futility. We have a call.
Morning.
Go ahead.
What's your contribution to the Gong report?
Yes, morning, Andy. Commissioner Community Gaya.
Yes, good morning.
Gaya is a place where licks and things take place and blood and all kind of thing. A little graphic thing now. But you know, I know let us understand being graphic is just a form of expression, a tool of expression to defend yourself from all this madness, boy. Because it's real madness taking place in these places. Because what happened, I heard that about this police girl to come back, to travel back. The first thing when you come back, touch down in Trinidad, you want to get doubles and them kind of thing. Look at this kind of trauma this police girl had to go through today. But I hope you know, the girl ain't reached the part with the romance self. The romance. You know, I hope the romance go ahead and that's deferred for another day. I feel, boy, fellas, I feel like going mad, you know, when I really think about this place, and I feel the whole ground report through Mikey, Lennox, and the other fellas mad to any listeners, boy. Because I believe that Rowley and the PNM and all these Nephilim is blooded creatures. I think them have our best interests at heart, boy. Because I mean to say, if people have suicidal tendencies and things, the PNM could assist you with that. So they have your best interest. If you don't have, if you, as Mikey say, if you have a love for generational suffering, PNM can help you with that. You understand? So why will it? I find Rowley, he seeking our best interest. I feel all the matter. I feel all the fellas real mad. I mean, they say, you know, it have medical assisted suicide. It have political assisted suicide. I think the word is eugenics. So if you have eugenics tendency in you, well, they could assist you, PNM could assist you. All right, guys, so take care.
Euthanasia.
Thank you very much.
Merciful killing.
What it is?
Euthanasia, mercy killing. Yes, indeed. Of course, he is being facetious, being what I consider to be sarcastic to some degree. But of course, in his own way, uniquely, of course, expressing the realities of Trinidad and Tobago, because you must accept that people are suckers for punishment if they continue, of course, to support and to, of course, cajole and gravitate to the PNM having, of course, done to us what they have done. Very pernicious, very evil, very diabolical over the last 9 years and moving into the 10th year. And when the election is called, it will then be, of course, 10 years of that level of pain, ache, agony, and stress, and pain, and degradation of our circumstance, quality of life, standard of living. And you continue, of course, to want to vote for that, when, of course, that should be totally extinct from the political consciousness of the people and relegated to the dustbin of history. Our children and our children's children are supposed to be reading about that diabolical imposition too long in office that has created havoc for successive generations. And of course, I trust that the PNM Bally's House will not be completed.
1 minute,
so
Lennox
it becomes
Smith.
the symbol
Andy,
of that.
Lennox, Mikey,
Yes.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Talking about, I hear that we're talking about jail and this and that. In all the years of the PNM, who minister ever get jailed for corruption in Trinidad? Okay, that is one. Two, shut down. The PNM government shut down mass transportation, which is the train and all of that. We shut down the sugar industry. We shut down the petrol trend, refinery, BWIA. Name them, we shut down everything. PNM, when I say they shut down everything, watch out. Even in education and all, they shut down everything in education that Kamala Prasad put up. And you know what? They even shut down their own brain and all. Because the PNM, nobody in the PNM have a brain for nothing. All the brain that they have is how to fill their pocket.
Wow. Oh boy. All the brain they have is to pull their pockets.
Well, of course,
That's
the
what
bad
Donald
Raj
Gentleman
is
is
shut
saying.
down.
Also see
when
a
coming.
message here from Mr. I see a message too from Mr. Long to Mr. Freeport that he got a massive heart attack. I'm happy that you are alive.
Yes,
indeed.
It was remiss of me to. He did call me personally as well. Yeah, so we want to wish him a speedy recovery. Thanks for mentioning that, Andy. I was supposed to, of course, share that with the national community. That's why you are not hearing from him. He has been hospitalized. I think he's in the new wing of the San Fernando hospital. And from the last time that I spoke with him.
All right, you gotta check your internet, Lennox Smith. You gotta check your internet. Too much pulling on it. Right.
All right.
Lennox, you're not hearing on time nothing because your internet is sticking bad.
All right.
If you have 10 things on it, Lennox Smith, please take off 9 and just leave 1 for now. So in that way, your contributions will be coming across properly. Nice. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Andy, Lennox, and Mikey. Andy, we need to start to talk about the elephant in the room, man. And the way how the fourth estate, which is the media, hiding a lot of things that go on in this country and not highlighting things and picking and choosing to highlight. And we need to start to stand up against this, eh? Because the media is supposed to be protecting us as the citizens. And they are not protecting us, they are protecting their bag. The only media right now, Andy, the real media, no pun intended, is the social media. We need to start to talk about these things because I didn't even know the head of NLCB was suspended indefinitely because of alleged corruption in the NLCB. I never know these things. Also, when the UNC the talk was talking about the internal, every day I turn on the news, read the front page or something about the internal. The PNM in shambles right now. And we're not hearing nothing from the media. The media ain't asking the right question. As the Honorable Jolie John said, the Prime Minister like he feel the Prime Ministership is like the Queen, so you want to hand it down. And the party is clearly not siding with that, but they're keeping it quiet. We need to talk about these things because the media failing us, Andy. The media failing us. We need to take a stand. When will we say enough is enough? Because this poor police woman yesterday. But now the head of the police social association now wake up and now realize he feeling like he hands tied because Rowley and Hines not helping. All the time he seen there, he hands was tied. When the 4 children in Arima died in the house. Eh? When the man and the child get killing him in the mad down Moruga. Where he hands was them time. But because 3 police attack in two weeks, 2 dead and 1 fighter for his life, and we praying for every minute. So don't feel we come to attack them. Where was the police association president all the time, Mr. Gideon Dixon? How he came out last night on the news? Because he realized that that's like the health minister. Look, we're crime rich, and no realize they were crime rich. But when the citizens balling out all the time, he didn't know his hands was tied. Eh? We need to hold these people accountable, where the pastor, where the priest, where the pundit, everybody in saying nothing because the mouth too full. Eh? And this thing getting serious and drastic, you know. When would we talk? When would we stand up? When would we say enough is enough? They came for you, we ain't say nothing. They came for Lennox. As they said Lennox Smith.
Hey.
How we can tell Andy and Mikey that you're getting money from Munilal? I heard that on a live. A lady say you, Wall Street, and somebody else getting money from TCT from Munilal to mash up the PNM. So Lennox ain't getting money.
Well, I wish it was so. You'll get something already. I wish it was so, my friend. I fixed up George Street already.
Is the season where Defender is the season where is the season.
Yeah, how it is. They have nothing to campaign on.
That's right.
They have nothing to campaign on. But anyway, let me keep the media, Andy. We need to bring up everything about the media. So enjoy the morning and let's be safe. Be safe.
Nice. Oh boy.
Yeah, man, just be safe. Yeah, before you go, just one more thing, Andy, just to let you know that yesterday at the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association's 33rd Annual Conference Exhibition at the Hyatt Regency, Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez says it's only a matter of time before individual water meters for customers' homes and businesses are installed. He said it must happen. We've started metering all of our plants under the IDB program, and we're creating district meters to measure the flow of water. So it's only a matter of time they will come and have those meters for the customers, for your homes and businesses.
All right, so they come with the meters. Remember, they had to come with everything because we had to pay for we. We had to.
That to me is a guise for increased water rates. That is what that tells me, because there exists a meter system. If you go through Port of Spain and in the suburbs, you will see that happening. So instead of, he should have been saying to add, but since he didn't say add, it means therefore it's just a guise for increasing water rates. That is how I view that. And there's always something sinister.
So what, Lennox? Yeah. So what? Have you traveled? Have you traveled?
You really don't mind.
If you go to other places,
give me the money. Give me the money. Give me the money.
I don't mind to put meters and things. Yeah, why? At least I'll be paying for what I use. Because real people paying and don't get water. So, hip, a form of taxation again. Hip. What the meters?
No, Andy. No. You have to understand, taxing can also be a prediction. All right? It shows here that we predict that a certain flow is going to be happening, and this is what you would have, even if you didn't get it pipe-borne, it would have been coming to you had it been there. So you have to pay for it still.
Yeah, that's true. Go ahead, call up.
You hear what he say, Andy? I hope you hear what Mike is saying. You know? He's saying that even if you get your meter and you didn't use any water, you still have to pay. That is the context in which he's speaking.
Are you saying that?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. It's predictable. It means therefore they have a rate established for a particular area. That's how they are causing bills to be billed to people across the country, and it's going to continue. Yeah.
So you will have a meter.
Yeah, so that has no benefit.
Go ahead, caller. Let me let the caller talk. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Director, No, nobody doesn't tell Robert Amar morning again. Like everybody says all in the station. First second morning just say Robert Amar. Oh God, it's sung so bad. Like nobody loves Robert Amar again. And they're not using somebody's phone. So I called to see how much after and also too. I don't think because nobody have a meter they are tapping up. So I don't think we'll be paying any water tax. And this other thing about tax, we need an election. We need a date for election. And my teacher, we need to get down by that EBC. We need to get down by there and find out what 10 million which are that get to the EBC, for some electrical or electronic machine. Also, vote by, we need to go down there and demand and demonstrate. Also, to my teacher, what about the El Shaddai man with the people money from Eastern Credit Union?
Yes.
Yeah, El Shaddai, we didn't forget you,
No, we ain't forget. We gotta go at that. Thanks a lot, my brother, for reminding me. Yeah, we have.
So, I wanted to see how much people love and listen here on this program, They know who don't say anything and nothing and beat them. They know me on my phone.
Nice. But while you're there, don't forget we on the Gael, live on Gael, and I know your family. Yeah, your family, hail your family, yes. So,
Hey, Grenada, good morning to you, Grenada, good morning.
Yeah, so my family up in Selman, in Grenada, St. Peter's, Moloney, the whole of Moloney, Market Machine, and the whole family. And right now you're listening in Grenada, and I will say the left onto the ground report. And the thing that all the things of Grenada and all over the world, and the thing need a new phone. So all you did say the love and the thing who don't like Anderson, they must call. I use somebody's phone right now, Andy. And all you know my number, 265-3846. That's 265-3846. Don't just call and ask me if I can your phone, have somebody's phone I use it. I'll look on and listen.
thank you very much.
There you go.
Very good behavior.
Water meters are coming. Water meters are coming.
What else are coming to us in this direction? Lennox
Well,
Smith?
TNTech,
that is obvious.
TSTT,
That is obvious.
TSTT is expected to be sold.
Yes.
A lot of things.
MP report, and I think there's already not a decision, but some activity relating to the exchanging maybe a final documents as far as library Pitch Lake is concerned. And then of course you have of course these loans that are being taken. Well, ostensibly, clearly, it is to argue that Trinidad and Tobago must be part and parcel of the United Nations Millennium Goals, one of which, of course, is water for all. So they're taking advantage of that. And at the same time, this government, because of the cash shortage that they have created because of the closing of Petrotrin and other, should I say, foreign exchange earning major parts of the economy in the gas, oil, and petrochemical sectors, they are now looking for other forms of income. And so, of course, the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority will be a major area, something like what the HGC has set up. HGC has set up a special collecting sector. They divide HGC into three, yes. One to construct, one to maintain, and one to collect. And boy, are they working overtime, because they are putting out people. They are insisting that people pay up their money, and people are traumatized now, and it's a horrendous situation. So just imagine if that is a microcosm of what is to be with, of course, the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority, and then of course you have property tax on top of that. People could well expect that their properties will be garnished by this government if we keep them there to do this evil. Having said that, they will never touch property tax. They will never, of course, interfere with subsidy that has created rise in cost of living.
And as well as compounded, Andy, with the fact that they have to answer the question, do they plan to sell FCB, NP, TSTT, and the Port Authority?
Yes.
So again, FCB, NP, TSTT, and Port Authority. Please clear the air on that.
I believe they plan to, I honestly believe they plan to sell all CLICO lucrative assets.
Yeah, well, that's quite
Financial
apart from that.
CLICO.
Mikey is talking
Which
about
is-
outside of CLICO.
It have their whole Millennium Park there, that Trent City Mall, the True Values. Fernandez too, you know. Imagine that belongs to CLICO, the rum factory that are all the punching and White Oak and all that. CLICO and Republic Bank too, you know.
You mean
Like CLICO on the sell
Angostura?
that too.
Angostura.
Angostura, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Angostura is them own too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angostura is CLICO own.
Yeah.
And then they have a whole set of thing within the energy sector up in Point Lisa's industrial
Yeah,
estate.
well, they sell that to
That
Promans
making
already
money.
for chicken feed. They sell it to Promans for chicken feed, yeah. Already.
They sell it to Promans?
Yeah, they sell it for Promans. That is a big issue that is to come in the energy discussion moving
Sector,
forward.
Yeah, that's right. Who we have, Andy? Who we have? Again, travel abroad to see how sweet Trinidad and Tobago is. If you have a problem, if you have an issue, if you think that people are only jumping through windows here in Trinidad and Tobago, Randall Mitchell is saying, think again. If you think that senior citizens alone in Trinidad and Tobago are being deemed as soft targets, Randall Mitchell say, think again. If you think that there are so much murders taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, Randall Mitchell say, travel, think again. So that's right. So there are a lot of things you should be appreciative of. You're not being appreciative of it because you are not traveling. You're not getting out there. Your job should be looking for more people who are suffering, and they're suffering worse than you. That is what Randall Mitchell is telling you. He's not telling you about the fact that you invested in a home for you and your family, that you have to leave this country and pack up and go because it's just too much. He ain't talking about that. He's talking about just go out there, take a look, find people who are suffering more than you, and come back here and appreciate that your suffering is less than theirs. There you go.
Yes.
And people remember that is a man who sent a pre-action protocol letter for something that we were just contemplating and just made mention.
It was a pre-action protocol letter.
Yeah.
Yes, Andy, go ahead. You're saying something.
We have it in our head. But go ahead.
Mentioned like what the was saying there, which is, all right, why stay then? What did I have to stay? Why you ain't talk about again as you see all the home invasions? Talk about that in the parliament now. All the bad roads, all the heart patients can't get the medication, dialysis. All the people are just waiting for just a basic, you know, diagnosis to hear what they're ill with, to know how to be fit to be fixed. I don't wait all kind of 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And then when you do hear where you're ill with, all right, I'm ill with this sort of disease here. And in order to fix it, I will need a surgery. And then boom, you're gonna get the surgery 2 years from now. You ain't gonna say, well, we in the PNM, we put something in place. If you're sick, you're gonna live to see a surgery date 2 years from now. I would have told we.
No, he's saying that we cannot fix anything, we cannot manage anything, and if you think you have it bad here, travel, and really see how people living.
Well,
he dares you.
Well, he's the Minister of Tourism. So is it that we must go and be tourists in other people's country? I thought his job was to attract people from other countries to come here. But I suppose that's the difficulty because we have advisories.
You're running people from Trinidad to go other countries.
But not only that, he's insulting our intelligence. That's the thing. He is disrespectful. And we entirely, if it is some talk in Parliament because the mic is on and the way how they're describing a woman, a political leader, is somebody now having this obnoxious, arrogant manner to talk about, hey, if all you think it's bad, don't study the opposition, you know. They're talking about doom and gloom. Only go and travel. And the man had the audacity to say, many people come back and under low shoo-shooing how good we have it here compared to what they saw outside. You can imagine this man, right? You can imagine this? The man is insulting our intelligence. He stood up and that is his contribution. Nothing to say what's going to happen as far as Carnival next year, because they like to throw a set of figures around. You know, Carnival brings in this, Carnival brings in that, but yet still taxpayers have to pay for it every year. It brings in this, it brings in that, but you ain't get your allocation on time. It brings in this, it brings in that, but yet still after the Merry Monarch has crossed the stage, there's no benefit at all to the art and culture. We are trying to fool. We are trying to insult people, boy.
Don't be surprised when he make this statement that people come back and shoo and say, no, but it is out there. And when you ask him to show anybody, bring anybody as evidence, he said, no, we signed confidentiality clauses. that's how mad the fellas is. They went mad. Yeah. A pile of asinine specimen.
And you saddle with this madness. We saddle with this madness. 1,000 writers in Hollywood couldn't write this madness.
Definitely not, my friend.
Even if you lock them in a room and give them drugs, you could have put P. Diddy in the middle. I am certain they can't come up with this. I'm quite certain they can't come up with this madness. We are living people's madness. Imagine that.
But it's good. But it's good
hold
therapy.
1 minute, gentlemen. Hold 1 minute. Hold 1 minute.
Hold on, you have someone. Go ahead, Andy. You go ahead, Andy. Go ahead.
Me, Lennox, Mikey, morning, calling from Brooklyn, New York.
Morning.
Good morning.
Talking about, I hear that we talking about jail and this and that. In all the years of the PNM, who minister ever get jailed for corruption in Trinidad? Okay, that is one. Two, shut down. The PNM government shut down mass transportation, which is the train and all of that. We shut down the sugar industry. We shut down the petrol refinery, BWIA, police, name them, we shut down everything. PNM, when I say they shut down everything, watch out, even in education and all, they shut down everything in education that Kamala Prasad Bisasa put up. And you know what? They even shut down their own brain and all. Because the PNM, nobody in the PNM have a brain for nothing. All the brain that they have is how to fill their pocket. You understand? And then we people, well, no God, give them a chance. We should name it, we country from take off Trinidad and Tobago and name it, give the people, give we a little chance now. We're trying to get it together. 60-something years, we're trying to get it together, and we can't get it together. Why we couldn't be like Singapore and all these other countries that was on par with us? Yeah? We were on par with them, and look at them now. And we still here railing and crying. We ain't even have a little bit of oil to run with refinery. Nothing we have because the PNM government, sightless people, no kind of intelligence going forward, but only they pocket alone, and a prime minister that jump on a plane every 2 days and he alone keep going forward. He and his sidekicks and them. Andy, again, morning, about this water thing. I was made to understand a couple of weeks ago that it is illegal to have spoutings on your house to collect rainwater and flow it into a drain. The water is supposed to fall free into a part of your yard that it could just spread out. It is illegal. I never know that. Lennox, could you give me some information on this? Is it illegal to have a spouting on your house in Trinidad and Tobago?
I don't check that, man. That's a good one. I don't check that. Illegal to have a spouting on your house. Wow. I don't check that.
If the meter can't pick it up, then it might be illegal. You cannot collect in barrel and
I know about rivers
meter.
and so on that people are prohibited from extracting water and so on.
Bathing and the water, yes.
But I mean,
the St. Anne's River and all that. Yeah.
From your house, spouting. I find it strange, but I will check it out and see. And if it's so, then we have to advocate to change that law. That is absolute as it is asinine. Frankly, it's ludicrous. It's absurd.
Go ahead, Andy. I don't know if you have any voice notes in here, Andy. Go ahead. We have 9 minutes again before we close off here. Again, folks, it's the GR Prime right here, Ground Report Morning Prime on Gaia TV and as well as Real Media TT on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget later on tonight, your very own is going to be on The Observer once again from 7 p.m. and it's going to be on Guile TV as well as Amplia Flow and Real Media TT. So at 7 p.m. and at 8 p.m. our very own Lennox Smith Corridor Transformation on social media. So you don't want to miss it. We have a lot in store for you. And of course, Andy is out and about roaming. A lot is taking place. It is the season, folks. Yeah, people, is it Christmas? Well, hard to tell, but a lot is taking place.
Hard to tell.
I don't think people even want to your pocket growling, and from the time that Luther Vandross come on, that song, I don't know, they should use that in concentration camps or something, boy. Just put you there, broke it. I don't know how. When that come on, you just want to set you off. Boy.
Depression. That's why a lot of people are asking me to, start the Christmas feel by, of course, playing some Christmas music on the corridor. And I've resisted that so far. But of course, I know ultimately I'll have to be caught up because this society will be
people with money. That's people with money. Barry Porter say that, we're not all on the same social page,
Yeah.
We're not. Sufferers don't care about Jingle Bell. I'm telling you right now. Sufferers living in hell don't care about Jingle Bell and Santa Claus and can't afford that.
Yeah.
Right now the fridge on sale, it empty. We have there, Andy.
Yes, indeed. Any voice call so we could make a clean conclusion.
Andy, go on.
I'm right here, man. I'm right here.
All right, it's good to know that you're right there, man. Yes. Who do we have? We have 7 minutes to go before we bring the curtains down here on the ground report on Guile TV and Real Media TT. Who do you have? Who's on the outside? What is happening in your neck of the woods? I know Andy shake up a few this morning. I say that thing. Hey, constructive criticism never hurts, man. That's what it is. Is he there hear it now, or you pay the price for it later? We want.
And it's better to hear it now than we pay the price.
Price for it later. And that's why I keep talking about the EBC. Because to hear that talk after, I see something was going on over here, and I was in Grandy and something. I was down in San Fernando West, boy, and that thing, and especially with this power surge, they so wicked they hook up all the machines and play. There was a power surge. And with that power surge alone, everything, because the observer could be standing there and what happened there? What happened? Okay, and all they could do is put in the report, yes, there was a break in electricity, lasted about 10 minutes. That's all they need. That's all they need to reboot and reprogram.
A pleasant good morning to you. What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Morning, and me again. I want to tell Randy Mitchell to come out of the bubbles. Here in Canada and the States is different. People live in happy. You apply for a pension, you have to go and beg for it. And people are being taken care of. So tell Randy Mitchell, let him come out of that bubble here. Because his government don't want to help the people. They don't give the people anything. When you reach age 65 here, you do your application online 2 months before, and at the age 65, your money started going in the bank. CPP is like national insurance. You contribute towards it. When you apply for that, 1 month after, your money started going in the bank. Is that like Trinidad, where you have to go and beg for your money? You pay national insurance in Trinidad, and you still have to go to national insurance office and beg them for your own money. Huh?
It's punitive.
Tell Randy Mitchell, come out of that bubbles. Because people here not living, who want to? Because there's a lot of programs, there's a lot of help that government help people. So I tell them if I meet him face to face, come on that bubble you're in. Because you happy. You get a 50,000 as a month salary. You don't care about anybody. You see? I'm talking once that garbage. I read it on the news, I check the news every morning. Guardian, Express, and Newsday on the internet. And I read it on the news. You see? So I want them to know all that garbage and crappy talking, get out there. Get out. You know? I mean, the reason why I'm here in Canada, I was being extorted. I had business. You know where, you know the place. You went there. And I was being extorted. And I had to safeguard my family and leave Trinidad and run to Canada. You see? I faced them with guns, prison bandits, everything else. These are things that they're supposed to correct, but they're not doing it. You see? Anyhow, Andy, you have a good day. Bye.
Thank you very much. And again, and I'm glad you mentioned that because it have people like to talk about. Look at them outside and them outside and them talking, not realizing that many of our citizens are out there because they had no choice.
That's right. There was no alternative.
Exactly.
The man just made it clear that he was confronted with guns. They had guns. They came with guns. They was extorting the man. You work hard to build your business, and you have to leave and run and leave it there because you have to protect yourself and your family. That's the fact. That's right. Yeah. And I said something this morning, and nobody waited on it. Senior citizens are paying cover tax. Every month they get a little caca. Some of them paying some of these criminals. That's how they live. That's how a senior citizen, because it's not your grandmother, because it's not your aunt, because it's not your mother. My gosh, these are senior citizens. We too will become senior citizens if we get the opportunity to live that long. If we do. But I mean, come on, man.
And the caller said very significantly, he run from Trinidad, minister. He didn't spontaneously to experiment to see what is happening out there. And then he now says that he's living a better life out there than he would in Trinidad. So there goes your argument. Flawed, nonsensical, dotish, asinine, and clearly one that is so damn vacuous that you really need a vacuum to vacuum fellas like your brain and mouth from the nonsense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mikey,
let me shut it down there. Right, so folks, as I told you this evening, the Observer at 7 p.m. and of course, don't forget the Corridor Transformation at 8 p.m. We have a lot in store for you. Folks, please, try and stay alive. Try and stay alive. We are out of here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Rowley, a dog. Low high the crime rate is in the country now, boy. Forest, come down. Imbu, come down. UNC, in tongue. I don't want to leave you on top the horse. I need you to come down here for me now. You're claiming PNM, them is boss, but look how high the crime rate is now.
Yes, people, of course, we have come to the end of this morning's ground report on the corridor transformation. We will see each other tonight on the... the ground report, yes. I'll see you tonight on the corridor transformation from 8 o'clock. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.
For the people and them to vote you. On the IG post you look nice. 1 million followers, 1 million likes. In the grocery, the food price high. Yeah, we 2% and CB.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, Boys Bay North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
PNM is the stalwarts of mafia, bubble and corruption. Home of them big liars, big thieves of millions of dollars. Don't trust none of them. Them is the real problem. They're doing me what they want, so let me vote up them. We not voting them for King's PNM. We not voting them for King's PNM. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Forrest, King Stuart, living high, dictatorship style, putting tears in the poor people's eyes. We not voting them for King's PNM. We not voting them for King's PNM.
must go. Everyone's coming out to bring about a change. I see young and old, we crying out for this. Yeah, want a government to drill policy, a government to do joke, a government to do fight we down, a government to do sport, a government with integrity. Now look how they understand. A government in sweetie and tea, no